we are we are back. We are back. We are back. We are back. Had to shut the live show down for just a little bit because we had to get out some technicians. Pay top dollar for internet around here in the studio, but they had me, as I said in the community tab post, they had me struggle streaming on some plantation wireless, but we got it worked out. We got together. We are back up and running. Everything should be a-okay. So more or less, let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
What's up, everybody? We are back. We are back in the building. Hopefully everything works out just fine today. The last stream, as y'all know, I had to end it, had to cancel it early because, I had some technical issues, but got it resolved, got it taken care of. So we should be all good and set to go today. We should be game, set, match, ready to get this thing going. So shout out to everybody in the building. I know I always do. Shout out those of you that make it in bright and early. E Capone in the building. Make sure you check the brother out. I think that's a link to his channel that he's dropping right there. Purple in the building. Good morning, people. She said, a pimp not down no more on the plantation wireless. No, back up and running. Uneducated lame in the building. Says, nope, that's going to be a no for... Yeah, shout out to Randy Jackson. That's going to be a no for me, dog. That's definitely going to be a no for me, dog. But for the billions in the building, make sure you're checking out that brother. He does good, excellent work over there. Car designer Chris, the Mac trucker in the building, says, who going to get a tattoo of Melanie King or Jessica X? That's what I want to see next. Well, it's kind of wrong of you to want to see that, because in this context, they would have to die in order for somebody to, immortalize them in that way. So, are you rooting for their death? Is that am I reading that right? Or do you want them to get the tattoo while the chick is still living. That's a whole nother level right there. You got you got somebody, you got an avatar you ain't never seen in real life tatted on your calf muscle. People have seen Melanie King, but that's don't make it any more or less weird. Indigenous TV in the building says, I blame all you ninjas for this. Yes, yes, yes. Indigenous TV with the tactic of saying, I blame all you for this. I mean, try to bend over backwards to separate myself from a disembodied, undescribed, nondescript portion of people on the internet so I can look to be other. So I can look to be above it. Like, shut up. Shut up. All of you. You don't have to take those dramatic lengths to just say that you're not with that. You could just say you're not with that, just like me. I'm not with that. I don't approve that message. I don't got to go and try to pin some charges, some trumped up charges on somebody, just to make sure people know that I'm not with it. Like, you're being goofy. You're being goofy. Cut it out. Jockey's Retro in the building. Shout out to Jockey's Retro. Shout out to Gemini 605 said, I heard Charleston White say he was going to get one. He was definitely trolling. I remember he said something about Kevin Samuels. Joe Ethereal in the building. Shout out to Joe Ethereal. I never see your name in the chat for some reason. But I never see your name in the chat, even though that I'm still debating on whether or not that's supposed to be the real. But anyway. But I don't know if I'm saying your name right. But no, I don't he wasn't a huge fan. He wasn't a huge fan. You've seen 3 different tattoos? Whoa. Okay, y'all got me all up in the chat room. Let me get about this chat room. Y'all probably clowning. He says Ed caping already. See, there go Indigenous TV. His stock and trade is just charging people up with shit. Warranted or not warranted. That's what he do. He just come in my chat room and do that. Anyway, shout out to Edward Anderson in the building. He says, I don't have Teddy. So if I did that, then yeah, there might be a cast, but Bandman has tats all over him already. So what's in? Oh, whoa! I can't get jiggy with that. I don't care how many tattoos you got. Adding one of another man, it's pretty weird. Yeah, this is getting weird. This story keep developing. I got like 6 different topics I was going to get into. I was just going to poke a little fun at the tattoo thing. It's more serious than I thought. This is more serious than I thought. But we almost got 100 people in the building, so make sure y'all go ahead and hit the like button. We got definitely a good one lined up for y'all today. I got a number of topics on the table that I'm going to be getting into, number of things that I'm going to be getting into. A lot of things pop up on my timeline. Hell, speaking of Kevin Samuels, this was some. Oh shoot, that's a little too big. I made that bigger than what I realized I did. But speaking of Kevin Samuels, this popped up on my Facebook page. It says, ladies in the group. Facebook got nice guy girl groups where they be debating and arguing and stuff. It'd be actually entertaining if you just can hover in the clouds at one that's not closed. But anyway, ladies in the group, next time you ask why guys lie to women, look at Kevin Samuels and Derek Jackson for the answer. One told you the truth so you could improve yourself, and you hated him for it. The other lied to you so you would buy his books, and you loved him for it. And you bought 3 copies of the same book. Because I don't know this, I can't prove this, but I just personally believe that Derek Jackson, when he wrote a book, he just like rehashed the same book. He just put the same material in basically just on different pages with a different cover. I can't prove that. I don't know that. I never read one of his books. That's just what I believe, because that's kind of what his content was. So that's kind of what I believe he did. But what you got to read into that, and what I'm definitely reading into that, is One of them told you the truth so you could improve yourself. The other one lied to you so you could buy his books. In that sense, that's like and you loved him. You hated one that gave you harsh critique and truth, and you love one that just told you a bunch of fluff, a bunch of bull crap, a bunch of hold on. Wait, I gotta pull up an oldie but a goodie. Y'all remember this, right?
If you ever want to make a lot of money, join the dating industry and give women fluff.
Y'all remember that one? That was what Derek Jackson did. That was what Derek Jackson did. And it's fun talking about these two because I'll be lying if I say that these two men are not the sole purpose, not the sole reason, but integral to growth spurts of my channel. Doing content on them has given me bumps and boosts. So I love when people draw parallels between the two because I tend to do that a lot myself. So I like to see other people do it. But it is something to be said in this space where a lot of us have said, no, don't be lying to women. Don't be lying. But the person who tell you what you want to, the person that tell them what they want to hear and lie to them, in that scenario there, the person telling them what they want to hear and lie to them, that's the person that they loved. And they went and bought the books. The person who told them the truth didn't lie to them. They hated him and pissing on his grave. Though things like that must sink in. Things like that must sink in. But shout out to whoever made that meme and put that out there. I have got to get out of y'all chat. I mean, out of y'all chat, out of my chat. I got to quit paying attention to y'all in my chat. Y'all throw me off. He says, Bernard, I could be hyperbolic, but you don't see how this is getting weird and more goofy. I won't even get on that online memorial. I thought that was great. That was never mind. What was wrong with that? What was wrong with that? I didn't see nothing wrong. I see something wrong with the tattoo. We shoulder to shoulder. We eye to eye on the tattoo. But the online memorial? No, that was an issue. That was a whole issue and a half. The online memorial, like, come on. Like that, I mean the tattoo, that was a whole issue and a half, but the online memorial, wasn't nothing wrong with that. Wasn't nothing wrong with people paying tribute. I mean, damn, the man came up out of this space. The man came up out of this space and made it super successful. Was the biggest thing on social media for like a 1-year run. If you're the biggest thing on social media, you're damn near, it's hard to measure it because it's hard to get the metrics just right. It's really hard to get the metrics just right because, if somebody's a celebrity, an actual A-list celebrity, yes, people go to the movies, they see them, they blah, 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 the whole works, but it's truly hard to measure. It's truly hard to measure just how big somebody truly is when they're famous just online and social media. Because yeah, people can go to the movies and watch, Will Smith, and obviously everybody on earth to know who Will Smith is. But when somebody is social media famous, everybody is walking around with this person in the palm of their hand all day. In a way, until like celebrity started going on social media. Celebrities started creating YouTube channels and Instagram pages because they realized that the non-celebrity who came up through social media got the hearts, minds, and eyes and attention of that audience in a way that they can't. If people got to pay money and go to the movies to see you, but Kevin Samuels is in the palm of people's hand every day. So it's really hard to measure just how famous he really was. But for somebody to come out of this space, rub shoulders with all of us, he's like the one that made it. And he, in the end, he died untimely. Yes, an online YouTube memorial service from the people that he was friends with, who are also YouTubers. That was apropos. It was appropriate. It was no doubt about that. Actually, that's playing in the background right now. The memorial service is playing in the background right now. So to say that was to hate on that, man, like damn. Like damn. Niggas just hate on anything. Y'all will hate on a dead man's memorial service. Now I can see if they enshrined him and tried to start a religion based off the sacrifice that he made. Okay, now we can have a conversation. If somebody tried to if somebody tried to like somebody tried to start a religion off of it, we're gonna worship and pray to the spirit of Kevin Samuels to help us keep these hoes in check. Like, okay, if that started, okay. Tampa Supreme, what you? How many? You done made another channel? You done came back? I done blocked you on like 3 channels. You be behaving yourself in my comment section, but I be seeing you hating in other people's comment section. I block your ass for shit you do on other people's channel. I'm just playing. No, you back. Just be cool. Hang out, chill. Don't do nothing stupid. But I see everything. People done pulled back up over here. That Bernard, why lose a wrench? I thought we was good. Like, no, nigga, I was up at 3 a.m. You was you was on a panel talking cash shit about me with like 24 people watching on some channel that I never heard of, but I caught you. I thought we was good, man. What's up, man? Shout out to Valet Waste Disposal LLC. Shout out to you. He says people get tats of Tupac, Biggie, and cartoon characters, so it's not that far. I think it is. I think a tattoo is too far. And you make a halfway decent. The cartoon character is like a fictional character is one thing, okay? A fictional character, like some people got Bugs Bunny or the Tasmanian Devil tatted on it. So I get that. I get that from a fictional character standpoint. I don't get that like when it comes to actual living, breathing people, but I separate the two and make a distinction because somebody who got a Tupac tattoo, I don't cringe as much at that as I do at somebody who got a Kevin Samuels tattoo. So I see where you're going. But no, that's still a no for me, dog. He says, I won't do it, but not surprised. The man did change my life. RIPKS. Yeah, he was a prime mover. He was a prime mover, man. He made waves. I said that in my my tribute video. You know, he didn't invent this. He didn't start this Manosphere. He didn't start this red pill stuff, but he was the one who took it to the world. He's the one who was able to give it to the world in a way that they could receive it. And he made it mainstream. It just is what it is. I forgot who it was that said the Manosphere may never go mainstream, but eventually the talking points will. Eventually the thoughts, views, perspectives, insights in the line of argument and all of that will go mainstream, and it happened. Kevin Samuels took it mainstream, so he can never be forgot, never be never take that away from him, and that's his legacy to me. That's his legacy to me. But moving on, because like I said, I got a bunch of topics, a bunch of things I want to get into, but y'all just y'all on that tattoo. One thing that I didn't do content on is this here. And this ain't really my speed to do some content on that right there, because I do look at her as somebody. She ain't never spoke an unflattering word about black men. She don't be, she ain't no Jamila Hill saying crazy stuff all the time. She mind her own business, do her own thing, do her little movies, and that's that. She got her husband who happened to be white. That's that. No big deal. I look at no. He's asking me what I hit that. The resounding answer is a resounding no. I'm trying to make a serious point here. That two people finding love is a good thing. We should accept that. We should embrace that. And at night, when they hold each other and she wraps those arms around him, let's pray his strength and safety. And that's my position on this. Black men shouldn't be speaking too much about this. Like, this is a woman minding her own business, found somebody that love her and she love him, and just let them just wrap up in each other's arms and be very warm, safe, and snug together. That's all I'm saying here. It makes us look weak, making a big deal of some woman that we don't want is with some white dude we can give less about. We can care less about. We can care less about her, less about them. So it's not a good look to be talking about this and making a big deal about this. All right. So, all right, moving on. And since we're on the topic, I just wanted to show a picture here just to show the a contrast, not a contrast in race. That's not what we're looking at here. A contrast in the how a bride's arm width and circumference compared to her man's torso, how that should look. The ratios in which a torso in on your wedding day, I'm just saying the bride's arm should not be rivaling the length, width, and circumference of the groom's torso. But other than that, I see two happy people in love, and I seriously wish them the best. Seriously. Like, no no jokes there. I'm dead serious. There's nothing wrong with this picture. Nothing wrong with this picture. Her arm being the size of his torso is not a big deal when you love each other. But just for frame of reference, that's the bride's arm to husband's torso ratio that you want to look for. And there's still problems in this picture. I got problems with this one too. You see, it's a certain degree of vanity happening here. Y'all don't see it, but see, I notice everything in my little, splash of chauvinism making me catch this. He's focused on her, kissing on her, and she's looking at the camera. I don't like that. Goddamn it. You goddamn it, wedding day. I didn't marry you. You pay attention. I lean in to kiss you. Goddamn it. Hell, you looking at she looking at the 3,000 people on the gram that's gonna see it. That's what she looking at. Now I could do the inverse of that. If I could be like looking off in the distance, all stoic, and she like leaning into me and all in my shit. But if me being the one all in her face and then she looking off in the distance at something else, like no. You won't see me in that pose. Yeah, you won't see me in that pose. He said she's standing on her square. It is definitely something
Beta
about that. Now I could be overanalyzing, I could be overthinking it. I mean, that's where I'm at with it. I see pictures like that where it looked like the dude is looking at the woman and kind of groveling and starry-eyed, and she's, and she's like dead-eye focused on the camera. She on the camera, got on her selfie. She putting on her selfie face, doing it for the gram. While he kissing them, you better turn around, pay attention. Better see what time it is, see what the score is. You see what the hell happening here. See, okay, y'all with me. I ain't tripping. That. See, I don't like when we overdo it. I don't like when we overdo it, when we measure the the level of simpery in every picture. I didn't like how they overanalyzed Boyce Watkins' picture with Willie D and his Boyce Watkins bride in there. I was like, y'all wrong. Let them live. Let him live. Y'all did him wrong. I don't like when we overanalyze every picture like that. I don't. But whatever. I know. I know. I know. I ain't doing. I ain't doing no pictures like that. SBE is bullshit. I said it. Yeah, the SBE wedding. If you can say an SBE wedding, that SBE means nothing. It's a it's a bullshit concept. What the hell is a SBE wedding? Yeah, I just be throwing stuff out. What else I got in here? That's the damn tattoo. Now I didn't know there was another slew of tattoos that was happening. That I didn't know. This was the only one that I saw. This was actually the only one that I saw. And yeah, I'm gonna stand on the square that is ridiculous. One, it look like it's whelping and he's still getting sores. Well, maybe that's how I look. I don't have a tattoo. I never got a tattoo. I got an unmarked body, like an unmarked car. But no, I think that's nonsense, man. I think it's nonsense. I can't go with it. Even though I heard some of the arguments. People got Tupac and Biggie tattooed on them. Can YouTubers get? Yeah, I don't know. You can't put a YouTuber in that category. You just can't. You just can't. You said SBE misuse. It's all misuse. It's all misuse. See, people out here saying, what's wrong with the tattoo? I mean, okay, so some of y'all with this. Some of y'all are with this. I'm shocked. I am shocked. I didn't think it would be. I didn't think it would be a divided audience on whether or not this made sense. I would be willing to bet that Obsidian does not have a tattoo. Since you asking, is that Obsidian tattoo? If I had to guess, I would say he doesn't have one. One, growing up, I know his dad wouldn't let him get one. But then again, that was a different era. See, when I was in high school, it was people was in their junior year in high school, just coming to school with their arms tatted up. That was like Allen Iverson Allen Iverson era. So I was real close to getting a tattoo, real close, but I didn't get one. But the guy that stayed next door to me, he went with clean arms. He left school with clean arms one day, came back like AI the next day. Like I don't know how long. Well, okay, I won't say the next day. I'll say it seems as if over a 2-week period, he got his whole arm, both arms tatted all the way up. Like people do that with tattoos. People go wild with tattoos. And oh, speaking of tattoos, did y'all see my pre-record? Did y'all see that pre-recorded drop where this woman put tattoos on a baby? Now you look. When I was editing the video, some things didn't make the cutting room floor, and so the part in the video where I explained that that the tattoos were not real, like those tattoos come off. Okay, those tattoos come off. That didn't make it into the final cut because I was trying to keep it under 8 minutes because I didn't want a long pre-record. So I ended up cutting that out. But if you watch the original video, which I got linked, they show that the tattoos can be removed, but she do got him out there looking like that. What do I say? The best, she got him out there looking like he got a court order appointed attorney already. That boy looked like he looked like his baby. Okay, well, hold on. Wait, speaking of his mama, hold on. I think I got that dropped too. Yeah, that's his mama. She fully tatted up head to toe. But that's the boy right there. That's the boy right there. And he looked like that boy looked like he got a baby mama older than his mama. He gave his daddy the talk. Like that's like she literally got him walking around looking like this jewelry, gold chain, tatted up head to toe. Like she She literally got this boy rocking out like that, like for real. So I definitely, I definitely had some fun with this. I said in the comment section, y'all got to come up with what's his name. Not to actually, his name is like Traylon, or he like Nugget World 5763 or something on TikTok or the gram or something. But no, what's his name? what we calling him? Somebody came up with a good one. I pinned to the top. Somebody came up with a good one that I pinned to the top. But no, I need some name suggestions for this child. I think that was Paul Game who, when I said in the video that just judging by how he look and hell, by how she looked, like we can't prove it. We can't prove it, but pretty sure that he got she had a train ran on her the day she was conceived. He probably got two biological daddies. The boy got two biological daddies. That's what I'm going with. But see, here's the thing. I think that was Paul Game who said Pooksworth the Jr. I think that was Paul Game who said that. Damn, what did he say? He was like he was conceived. You saying that I said that he was conceived the same way as Freddy Krueger, and I had to Google. Well, how was Freddy Krueger conceived? And it was a pretty disheartening story. But that one that got pinned to the top, and then somebody else that beat that one out. So we got nicknames coming in. Lil Diaper. He said, "Mama look dirty." Like, yeah. Lil Lil Diaper Rash Thuggo. Infant like baby, get him. Traylon is his name, but I call him Lil Tough Guy, Small Biggie, O Dog, Microwave. It would be illegal if it was real. Now it's worth pointing out. Nickelbag, I like that one. It's worth pointing out that I still think it's abuse to some degree. I mean, even if the tattoos aren't real tattoos, because keep in mind, it's grown people like me who shit. I don't want to lay there and have a needle poking and prodding at my skin for 3 hours, let alone a baby doing it. So, I mean, in that sense, obviously it's abuse if it was a real tattoo. But making him lay down for that long for an artist to hold. It was a video where he kind of getting held down. I mean, he looked like he was not tripping, but the artist was going to work on him, and the baby was awake, and it was looked like it. So it's a form of abuse, and then the socializing of it. It was a lot of son husband moments, pictures on the. This is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad because I did do some more research. They are actually monetizing them. They are actually monetizing them, so I commend them for that. They're making him look like a little thug, a little gangster, and and I saw him taking a picture with a bunch of Sour Patch Kids paraphernalia, bags, and all of that stuff. So I mean, the boy got a contract with Sour Patch Kids. So when I did the research, I was like, okay, they are getting money, and I compared it in the video to Little Tay. I compared it in the video to Lil Tay. Y'all know how it was with her, how they had her basically, they were giving her lines, telling her like, no, make it sound more ratchet. You got to do, they was basically grooming her to get up there and talk, ghetto. And I could see they already, at the visual stages of doing this with him. Call him Lil Durag. His past, future son. Lil Muckbank. There you go with that one. Black women hate their kids. I mean, yeah. Look. I mean, like this junk don't look good. This junk don't look good. The only saving grace in it is that she's either directly or indirectly. See, I think she did it just out of she just wanted her little man to look, because that's what she was calling him in the video. She just wanted her little man to look grown. She like, hey, little man. That's how she talking and stuff. And whenever they calling the baby little man, I mean little man, how my man. Whenever they start talking like that, that's them telling you ain't no man in their life. Daddy nowhere to be found. So they're trying to make him look like a man, the type of man that she want. She's trying to make her son look like that. And so it's plenty of ways you can go psychologically, even with the tattoos not being real, to where you can still draw the conclusion that, yeah, this is abuse. This is abuse. You can still draw that conclusion, but I am a capitalist, and it's always a fine line between trying to use your kids to get rich and abusing them. Some people are of the strong opinion that Joseph Jackson and Richard Williams was abusing them kids, trying to make them into stars. So you can make the argument that this is another form of that. You can make that argument, but Wizard X in the building with the $5 super chat. He says people get tattoos for any reason nowadays. It's like, yeah, people act like they don't know tattoos are permanent. People get tattoos for any reason nowadays. KS was beyond YouTube. This is clear by the MS exposure. Was that Manosphere exposure? And the MSM acknowledgement pre-post his death. I don't know what MSM. Oh, mainstream. Oh, about the mainstream exposure and the mainstream media acknowledgement pre and post his death. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Still weird. Still weird. Can't deny that. Can't deny that. Won't deny that at all. Won't deny that at all. But no, this is I'm not going on this one, I'm not going on that one. That ain't acceptable. That ain't acceptable. But what else I got on the docket? Look, I'm about to go ahead and talk about this, something I've been quiet on. I'm about to show y'all a clip from 2 months ago. Because yesterday when I started a stream about the idea, I was about to make the case that the whole manosphere is low-key. People always say, I ain't trying to change women. I don't care what these women do. But I got to thinking, this space was created because of the stuff that women do. And you're giving men game on how to counteract what they do. And if you change the men, and especially if you change the laws and you change the environment, BGS said that. You change the men, you change the environment, you change the women. The goal ain't to change women. We're not trying to change women, but if you change the environment, you change the women. So if you're trying to change the men to where they move in a way and then ultimately change the laws, the men change, the mindset of the men change. I'm holding up fingers, y'all can't see. The mindset of the men change, the laws change, which means the environment change, and then the women are forced to change after that. So in a long-winded roundabout way, you are trying to change women. That was a conversation that ultimately got going on Case Closed with Dr. Thunder and Ike. And so when I was about to talk about that, and I got into an SBE, shame, blame, and explain debate, but then my Plantation Wireless kicked in, so I didn't get to finish that conversation. So, but one thing that I'm going to do, and I said this a couple months ago, and this is my thoughts on the whole shame, blame, explain entertainment thing. And I'm put the link in the chat after this. Somebody want to come up and fight me on this one? Because I think it's a bunch of nonsense, and you can come up. I put the link in the chat to prove me wrong. But this is what I said 2 months ago when it first got going. This was my thoughts. This was my take. It's to the point where, and I've seen this play out on my channel when I'm doing a reaction video. I'm doing a reaction video to a feminist, and I know I'm thoroughly, brutally picking her apart and defeating all her bad arguments. And I see an army of people in the chat room telling me that I'm trying to, this new thing, that I'm trying to shame, blame, and explain. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm told now I'm trying to shame, blame, and explain. So I'm getting my wrist smacked for critiquing and criticizing women. But guys, they go after men in the spaces. Yeah, get them. Go after women? No. I'm sitting there looking at that like, if some blue pill pandering simps wanted to create a strategy to undercut the to undercut or undermine the message of this space and blow it up from within, that would be their exact strategy. Figure out a way to make it unfashionable to criticize women, but okay to criticize Manosphere talking points, or okay to criticize Manosphere content creators. But when you do it to the women, nuh-uh, you're trying to shame, blame, and explain. It's like, I know there are detractors of this space who we've defeated years ago, sitting back there stroking their beard like, damn, why didn't we think of that? Like, because it's perfect.
Yeah,
it's a perfect strategy. Now, just for the record, Dr. Thunder layered that music. And I'm sorry for bringing Dr. Thunder into this. But Dr. Thunder made that. I went and did an interview with Dr. Thunder, and he asked me a question that sort of prompted me to talk about SBE. That was 2 months ago. I've been silent on it, but that was 2 months ago. And so when he, I guess, re-uploaded it, he he put a weird violin in there. I had nothing to do with the weird violin. But Dr. Thunder's that dude. Yeah, he's a musician. He's a musician. He's a great musician. Yes, Indigenous TV. We agree on something. But the link is in the chat. Y'all are welcome to Mac the Trucker said Bernard went to smoke today. I'm down. I'm with it. I am with it. The link is in the chat. If somebody want to come up and fight me on that one, what I said right there 2 months ago. If somebody want to come up and fight me on that one, I'm all for it. I'm all with it. But while you wait for somebody to come up, shout out to RM. I haven't posted it yet, but if you're listening, RM, I do appreciate you. I didn't even send you a response email, but I do appreciate it. She be editing videos for me. She just completed a edit. Real nice. Excellent work. Highly recommend her. The Mac the Trucker saying, let's go. I don't think they're gonna come up. Now, what's funny is the goddamn the goddamn SBE Mafia pulled up at my channel with pitchforks and tiki torches. I'm just doing reaction videos like I normally do. Okay. Showing it was some chick. She had sort of some feminist ideals, but she was, kind of sisterhood, kind of feminist, saying a bunch of nonsense. And I'm just thoroughly picking that apart. And they just posted up out there deep. They pulled up deep with pitchforks and tiki torches. I'm like, damn. Charging me up with shame, blaming, and explaining. Like they pulled up deep. Like them Negroes burned a cross on my front lawn. I was like, what the hell? they had me looking out the window like Malcolm. Like, hold on. What they pulled up. It was a goddamn insurrection, a mutiny. I was like, what is going on here? What is going on? What is this? And I didn't understand what this was. And it never made any sense. And it still don't. So here you go. News said, I got the SBE rod so I can mark people. Okay, well, you're going to be real busy. You're going to be real busy if you're going around marking people with that SBE rod. Who are you going to start with? Because everybody do it. Y'all do know that, right? Y'all do realize that, right? You do realize that 95% of the content creators that you listen to, they do it. And how do we know this? I'll give this example. When that junk first started and first got going, I remember Ty City pulled up on Red Supreme and was accusing Red Supreme of shame, blaming, and explaining. Now, Red Supreme, he don't even talk to women on his channel. He do reaction videos to stuff that women talking about, and he generally critique the actions, behaviors, mindsets, thoughts, the thought process, pathology, and behaviors of women. He critique it, he analyze it, he pick it apart, he talk about it. That's what he do. Ty City being the founding member of SBE, He basically coined the phrase, he coined the term, so he has full creative control and power to define it. He has full creative control and power to define it, and he defined what Red Supreme does as shame, blaming, and explaining. If Red Supreme is shame, blame, and explaining, that means everybody is shame, blame, and explain. That means Minister Jap. That means Angry Man. That means Mr. Palmer. That means everybody. So, new, if you got an SBE rod so you can mark people, you're going to be pretty damn busy. You got a lot of marking to do because everybody do it. Like, so, so, and the crazy thing is, when people pull up in, like, a lot of people have instructed their moderators to just delete SBE and shame, blame, flame. If you see that in the chat room, like, people delete it. People delete it on site when they see it, which means they had a private meeting with their trusted moderators and said, hey, when they bring that shit in here, delete it. You know, so ain't nobody with it, don't nobody like it, but don't nobody want to talk about it. don't nobody want to say nothing. Don't nobody want to smoke. Don't nobody want to smoke. And I typically avoid, I mean, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'll speak on it today. I put the link in the chat and nobody is showing up. Yeah, they're not coming because Bernard blocked them. Nope. I blocked, it was a time when I blocked well, hold on, wait, two things. One, you can be blocked and still take a StreamYard link. Let's make that very clear. You can be blocked and still take a StreamYard link. Two, the people that got blocked is I had blocked the phrase, the hashtag SBE or just SBE from my chat room because I didn't want it in my chat room. So I blocked certain words and terms. I didn't block. Only way an individual got blocked is if he was just forcefully trolling. If he was forcefully trolling, he got blocked. So no. It's a, and even if somebody do want to come up and they are blocked, you still can take a StreamYard link when you block from a YouTube channel. YouTube and StreamYard are two different things. YouTube and StreamYard are two different things. But no, it's some people who just forcefully trolling to the point to where I it's it's like, hey, I do got to get you out of there at some point. Hey, I get you out of there at some point. If you just on some outright utter bull. You says Black Ram doesn't SBE Bernard. What you're doing right there is you're trying to define it narrowly. Okay. It was initially explained in a broad way. When somebody criticized it, y'all try to do a judo and try to narrow it. Okay. If you are literally sitting there talking video, like David Carroll said, video after video after video, criticizing, critiquing, and picking apart everything wrong with the actions, behaviors, thought process, the overall pathology, psychology of women, and thoroughly, savagely, brutally picking it apart, explaining how everything they did, the outcomes from it, what they're going to do going forward, what they've done in the past, what they're doing right now, how it affects everything, how it affects the raising of the outcomes of Black boys who turn into Black men. And if you're doing all of that, you are shame, blaming, and explaining per the original definition laid out by the person who coined the phrase. You are shame, blaming, and explaining. Like I said, I was in the audience watching when Ty City pulled up on Red Supreme with that and said Red Supreme was shame, blaming, and explaining. I was what Red Supreme doing, any different from what Black Ram is doing? They're doing the same thing. Everybody is doing it, which means it's a bogus concept. It is a bogus concept. It is a bogus concept. that can be indiscriminately applied anywhere at anybody for any time in any reason. Falcon Black says, not everybody. Okay, that's cool. But I'll tell you one thing. If you subscribe to at least 30 Manosphere channels, and all they do on those channels is critique, criticize, pick apart bad arguments and bad points made by women, criticize the actions and behaviors of women, and break down everything wrong with the pathology and psychology of these modern day women. If you subscribe to a lot of channels that do that, then you are in the group. You are shame blaming and explaining. It's a bunch of distinctions without a difference. Okay, here we go. Now, I haven't even read this, but I already know he's about to try to narrow the definition. He says, I think SBE is talking about trying to change / help hoes. Nope. Red Supreme wasn't trying to change or help nobody. He was just criticizing them. Nope. If you're criticizing them, that falls into the definition. The only person who could say actively in this space was truly trying to help them is probably Kevin Samuels. But really, I mean, you kind of short-sighted and blind if you think that's really all that was about. I mean, yeah, he dangled the dating advice and how to get a high-value man to get them in there, to sit them down, to debate Manosphere talking points, to basically expose how ridiculous their thoughts, views, ideas, and perspectives are. He basically like he was the one who put it out there for the world, the points that we've been making. He just figured out how to do it on a broad stage. To try to spin that as, oh, you trying to save hoes. It's like, come on. They coming up there trying to figure out how to get a high value man, and 95% of them he telling y'all not worthy of it. And they say, oh, I mess with high value men all the time. And he's like, yeah, they'll fuck you, but they won't keep you around. They won't marry you. He basically telling them that y'all just worthy of being pumped and dumped, and showing all the reasons why. Just like everybody who called his say Kevin Samuels, Shane Blaine explaining is basically saying, no, they just worthy of being pumped and dumped, and here's the reasons why. But Kevin Samuels did more to show why they should be just pumped and dumped more in one live stream than what other people did in their whole YouTube career, but they criticizing him. I'm not familiar with Thinking Man's Templar. Unfortunately. No, he's the opposite, because he don't criticize. J Speed Shane blames and explains to the men. If anything, that's what J Speed do. He's not. No. It's a spin move in a judo to take men who debate men can sit here and talk about these talking points all day. We can talk about these talking points. We can go back and forth about these talking points, or we can get a live subject and debate in real time. And in debating in real time and picking apart and showing in real time how wrong they are and how right they are is somehow Shane blaming and explaining. He says, Bernard, I agree 90% of this space is SBE. Yeah, but see, my thing is it's a faulty concept to begin with. It's a faulty concept to begin with. So I that's why I'm like whatever with it. You say 90% of the space is SBE. I'm like, what is SBE? Somebody is shame. It's as simple as this. It's shaming men for critiquing women. That's what it is. It's shaming men for picking apart the stuff that women say and do. It's shaming men for debating women. And in the majority of cases, winning the arguments against women, and they're being shamed for that. It's a judo. Theo in the building says, good stream. Oh, SBE doesn't work on Chewbacca. And get out of here. Get out of there. But shout out to Theo Waff in the building. Shout out to Theo Waff. I ain't been dropping the drops. I haven't been dropping the drops. I can barely find them. Okay, I can't find it. It's gone. Okay, I just drop a bomb then. Not exactly choosing smoke. Listen, my show has always been about debate. My show has always been about debate. I'm all about the debate. I want any opinion, any view, any perspective I have on anything, I'm open to debate somebody on it. I always do that. Always do that, hands down. I've always been about that. Always been about that. So no, that somebody said this is what did somebody say? That ain't what I was looking for, but that's where I'm at. No one should shame men for calling out bad behavior in women. And to me, that's what it is. That's what it is. Snuggle668 in the building says, Theo, let's all go up and drop the link, Bernard. What the hell? Amazi says, isn't a Kev tattoo better than White Jesus tattoo? Yes. I give more respect to somebody with a Kevin Samuels tattoo than a black man with White Jesus. It says Kev resurrected many men more than Jesus. Damn. And that's true too. He did wake up a lot of men. He did wake up a lot. Seeing those discussions, even though people were framing it as, oh, he's trying to save women, or he's trying to convince women, or he's trying to do this, seeing the back and forth, seeing that back and forth take place was infinitely more effective than just a man looking into a camera talking junk about him. A man looking into a camera doing a reaction video to them. Seeing the live back and forth debate. That's what he did. He lowered them in, dangled the carrot of the high value men to lower them in to pull up a chair, they can have a seat so he can debate Manosphere talking points. And he debated Manosphere talking points and did it triumphantly. It's like, I have a hard time seeing anybody put an L on that. I don't know how that works. Theo Wife in the building says, I wish, but I'm working to death this morning. Theo be getting it in. Shout out to Theo. Shout out to everybody who's supporting the stream. Shout out to everybody who's supporting the stream. But the link is in the chat. We almost an hour on into this thing. Says, facts. I'm playing with different content now, trying to find the right formula. I appreciate the feedback, Falcon Black. All right, y'all talking about something else. But damn, did another one just come? Snuggles in the building with the super chats. I said we should organize a campaign to block Snuggles. I feel bad about that. Snuggles don't deserve to be blocked. I can't never get right on the square where I need to be. Snuggle668 in the building. He says, music, please, Bernard. And didn't Tommy Sotomayor do the same thing, or did he have a different effect? Please explain. There's a lot of people that have done the same thing as Kevin Samuels. It's just that he did it bigger. He did it on a bigger stage. I'm not even going to debate whether or not he did it better, because that's debatable. Because Tommy Sotomayor did a beyond phenomenal job when he did it. Oh, Tommy Sotomayor, I guess he would be another shame, blame, and explainer. But anyway, he did a phenomenal job. I'm talking about scale. I'm not talking about who did it first. I'm not talking about who did it best. I'm talking about, I'm glad that it's gotten done and everybody has seen it. That's the most important part for me. Understand the concept of a front man, He got up there in a shiny suit. He said what he said. He said what he said. He did what he did. And he did it in a way that could draw in millions of people to watch him. Millions of people to watch him. I remember, and sometimes it's hard to tell exactly how many views somebody get per week, because you might just look at the content and just add it up, But if you just looked at it just at his peak, it was like, you added up all his videos that he dropped. Because I mean, he was going live on YouTube 3 times per week, but he was also on Instagram, and he was also taking clips from there. So he was dropping like 2 clips a day, and all the little 10 to 20 minute clips was getting like 400,000, 500,000, 600,000, views. Okay. He was getting over 600,000 views on a lot of that. He was getting over 600,000 views on just little clips he was dropping, in addition to the live stream show that was getting hundreds of thousands of views. And that's just one day right there. We're talking 2 million total views in that one day. And then when you take that and you extrapolate that to 5 days out the week, actually, 7 days out the week, because he was dropping stuff on the weekend as well, dropping clips on the weekend as well. So just right there alone at its peak, it was getting something like 14 million just in a snapshot when you just look at it. But then you got to remember, videos from last week, from last 2 weeks, last 3 weeks, last month was still getting views. So, I mean, he very well could have been getting upwards of 20 million views a week. Like that many people was hearing it. So that's what I talk about when I give him the credit. I give him the credit for creating the vehicle that got the message out there. A message that obviously I hate when people do this, and I'm guilty of doing it. Well, I didn't agree with everything, I ain't with the 6-month engagement shit. I always said, if it take 5 years, 3 to 5 years to establish somebody as a high value man, it's going to take 3 to 5 years of damn good, immaculate behavior to establish that she is who she's purporting herself to be. So that's why that 6-month stuff never would fly for me. Never fly for me. No. That stuff would never fly for me. Yeah, that's the funny part too. They say he died broke, man. Come on. I know for a fact that early on in the process, when he was still at like, several 100,000 subs, he hadn't even hit 500,000 subs yet. I know that just off of just AdSense, not super chats, just getting paid for views. Okay. Just getting paid for views. It was at like he was making 100,000 a month. Just getting paid just for the views, not the super chats, not the cash apps, not the Patreons, not the memberships, just views alone. Before he even crossed 500,000 subs, he was getting $100,000, a month just off YouTube views alone. That I know for a fact on good authority. So anybody who trying to say this man died broke, y'all are tripping. Y'all are bugging to the 5th power if you're trying to say that man died broke. And keep in mind that's early on. Like I think he might have been at about 100,000 subs around that time when I got that information. No, I didn't get that off Pocket Watching. I got that off a credible source gave me some information. A credible source that's so close to him and got it directly from him gave me that information. So no, it ain't no Pocket Watching. Shout out to Pocket Watching with JT. To some degree, it ain't nothing wrong with Pocket Watching. Some degree, it ain't nothing wrong with Pocket Watching. It depends on why you're doing it. If you're doing it with a purpose, with a reason, you're trying to learn something. If you're doing it to learn a business, ain't nothing wrong with that. I see nothing wrong with it at all. If you're doing it to, to soak up game and knowledge, I ain't tripping on that. Yeah, Falcon Black, we all die broke because we can't take the money with us. Fair enough. You didn't say that, but that was my take on what you said right there. But no. The man was paid a few times over. Like, I'm talking about his early rise. He was getting $100,000 a month. The early rise. Story to Tell in the building says, watch season 3, episode 9 of Atlanta. He did an excellent job. What? You saying Kevin Samuels was in Atlanta, the show? That I didn't know. I will check that out. I got a team of people that send me emails for content, but some of y'all need to get back on your job. I was supposed to know that one. But anyway, a story to tell in the building says, watch season 3, episode 9 of Atlanta. He did an excellent job. Make sure y'all check out a story to tell. He's doing content over there. Drop your link if you have a wrench. I don't even know if you got a wrench or not, but if you don't got a wrench, somebody take up the cause of not super chat. Dropping the link to this brother's channel. He's over there doing work. He sent me something funny as hell. I might have to pull up what you sent me. I might have to pull that up. Because that was a hella troll move that somebody did. Hold on. Y'all want to see some good trolling? I will show y'all good trolling. Y'all want good trolling? I will show you good trolling. Give me a minute. Damn, hopefully y'all can see that. Okay. Car designer Chris in the building says Chaos was broke. Houseway. No, that is bogus. Look, I only told y'all some numbers back when he had 100,000 subs. He was getting 100,000 a month. So off just the AdSense. And that was back when he was, raking in like 5 G's easy on super chats. So let that all sink in. Like, y'all are bugging if y'all think that man died broke. Nah, he made a million a few times over. And I'm being generous when I say a few times. But Uncle Stu, the old man on the block in the building, says showing love and support, having an intellectual conversation with a woman is not shaming women for ideas which does not add up to reality. Thank you, Uncle Stu. He says, I'm realist. RM, I will be happy for you to edit my videos. Yeah, right on. Yes, definitely. RM did some good work for me. That's going to be dropping that. Going to be dropping that a little later on. I'll be dropping that probably a little later on today. But I don't even know if RM is in here listening. I don't know if I haven't seen her today. But I will be dropping a video that she edited earlier. A story to tell in the building. He says that was a story original. LOL, just didn't drop the vid. Oh, I think you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay, hold on, wait, real quick. Let me get this up here on the screen. Now, somebody put out some, I guess, tier list. This ain't working. Hopefully I can see that. That's not as big, bold, and bright as I would like it to be, but they put out a tier list of Manospherians, of YouTubians. Okay, now that's wrong. They got Tommy down there. How you got Tommy Sotomayor down there with me? Like, come on. Who did this? Whoever did this is a Tommy Sotomayor hater. But anyway, down at the bottom, I can't even tell who that is in the far left because it's kind of dark. Hold on, let me pull it up on this screen right here. Oh, that's my man, The Beautiful Lies, El Guapo. So you got El Guapo down there. You got Mr. Palmer. You got myself. Dennis Sperling got to move up. Now. A lot of and shout out to Dennis Sperling doing what you got to do to keep Kevin Samuels' legacy alive. He's doing a great job. Best man for the job in turn. Well, I mean, he's no Kevin Samuels, so the Kevin Samuel audience is falling over there to try to get some Kevin Samuels type content. They're not going to get that from Dennis Berlin, but the people who really loved Kevin Samuels are going there just to, just a place to be, a place to hang out. He's somebody who was close to him, who who's keeping the memory alive. That's all. And so shout out to Dennis Berlin for that. But he's moving up on that list. He got to move up a tier. But anyway, El Wapo of Beautiful Lies. Make sure you're checking that brother out. He do good work over there. Mr. Palmer, myself, Dennis Berlin, Duke from the Duke and Don. And then there's a Tommy Sotomayor hater who put this together. We got Tommy Sotomayor down there at the bottom. The next tier level. And look, I don't approve all this message. I'm just showing y'all y'all about to see the major troll, because this is before Kevin Samuels died. They're saying this was a tier list. And so it's Saint in the center, Obsidian, Angry Man, the lead attorney, O'Shea. And up here they got Mediocre Tours and Reviews, Fresh and Fit, Poor Man's Podcast, Kevin Samuels. All right, there, y'all see that. Now it's about to get funny, because the list, obviously with the untimely passing of Kevin Samuels, the list has changed. Okay, the list has changed. So now that the list has changed, let's see that list now. Let's see what changes in the list. Let's see what changes. Give me a second. So that was before Kevin Samuels died, and now this is after. All right, this is this is and they wouldn't put Melanie King up there at the top. Oh man, y'all might as well stop asking where's AMS, where's BGS. This thing is a troll from the start. All right. Y'all might as well cut it out. Quit trying to find we're trying to make sense out of it. Indigenous TV, come on up, man. You keep talking. I unblocked SBE from the chat room. So now you want to flood it in here. But come on up. Have you ever jumped on a panel? I don't know if you ever jumped on a panel. I think SBE is just shaming men who criticize women. The thing that the Manosphere has always done: critique the actions and behaviors and pathology of women from the start. That's what it has always done. So yeah, trying to refute Manosphere arguments and smacking the wrist of men who criticize, critique, and pick apart female arguments. That's truly undercutting the message, blowing it up from within. That's my opinion on SBE. Anybody can come up and argue me down on that one. Somebody can come up and argue me down on that one. I'm all ears. I'm all ears. Come on up, Indigenous TV. I don't know if you ever hopped on a panel. Cut it out. You might as well cut it out. Stop trying to make sense of this. Stop asking, where is this person? Where is that person? Blah, 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 blah. Nope. This is a troll. This is trolling level 1000. Okay. The troll level is on 1000. He replaced Kevin Samuels with Melanie King. Put Melanie King at the top of the hierarchy. That's what happened. That's what happens. That's where it's at. You said, where's RBR? Okay. That's somebody who gets it. Cannon Wiles gets it. He says, where's RBR? Where's Taz? Okay, Indigenous TV gets it. All right. Where LAR? LAR deserved to be on the list, but again, this is a bullshit list. The operative thing that needs to be looked at, recognized, acknowledged is that Melanie King is at the top of the list. Jessica X, eat your heart out. I don't even know what that means, but when somebody take an L, they say eat your heart out. But yeah, Jessica X has been succeeded by a cammed up light skinned woman. She's been surpassed by a cammed up light skinned woman. She was going to be our fearless leader. But no, it's Melanie King now. That's, where's OGJ Speed, man? Come on. Come on. Come on. Cut it out, cut it out, cut it out. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. It is a trip. It is a trip out here in these YouTube streets. And since I'm at it, I also might as well do this. Bernard, Phil Scott of the Phil Advice show, who's always been not anti-manosphere, but against the message in the manosphere. Let's just make that very clear. Why you Bernard says Phil Scott told niggas to stop shaming women. He said brothers need to get passports. Okay. I don't know what's wrong with critiquing the actions, behaviors, and pathology of women and refuting the bad arguments that they put out there against men. I don't know what's wrong with refuting those arguments in a monologue, a reaction video, or in a live discussion with the woman and going to get your passport. I don't know what's wrong with doing that. Like, you're saying you want men to stop talking about women, but you're meanwhile subscribe to 50 men who talk about women and critique the actions and behaviors of women while you're going around saying, stop critiquing the actions and behaviors of women. That's literally what you're doing. You're not making sense. Now, when I say that to him, what he's going to do, he's going to try to narrow the definition of shame, blaming, and explaining. But like I said before, Ty City invented the concept. Ty City invented the concept. And he defined what Red Supreme does as shame, blaming, and explaining. And as I said, if Red Supreme is doing it, then everybody is doing it, because Red Supreme does essentially what the Manosphere has done, the Black Manosphere has done since its inception. It's critique the actions and behaviors of women and pick apart their pathology and psychology. That's what the Manosphere has done from the start. That's what Red Supreme does. That's what I do. That's what Red Supreme does. Oh, there you go. That's what Red Supreme does. That's what I do. That's what Mr. Palmer does. That's what Mr. Jap does. That's what Angry Man does. No matter, regardless of where you're at on the, everybody's doing it. Show me somebody who's not doing it. Show me somebody who's not doing it. Black Ram does it. Like y'all are acting, y'all are playing dumb like this wasn't a y'all are playing dumb like this wasn't a smack in the wrist of men who criticize women. When you pull up Philip Scott, who's been trying to smack the wrist of the manosphere for the longest, that doesn't help. Let me just go ahead and put this in perspective. That chick, Sweaty Life of okay, I call her Sweaty Life of Atari. Sweet Life of Atari went after Angry Man and said, this dude, he out here trying to shame, blame, and explain. If a BWE Black woman empowerment, who's like that movement is like the close cousin of the divestment movement, the divestment zealots, the ones that got the black man hanging from a tree with the black woman on another branch swinging on a swing. That chick is like right around the corner from them. And she calling out Angry Man for shame, blaming, and explaining. If Taz exclusives be calling out people for shame, blaming, and explaining, like if feminists, if feminist sisterhood soldiers, so to speak, are calling out people for shame, blaming, and explaining, maybe, just maybe, you on the wrong side of that argument. Like, just maybe. Like let's not even play dumb with this. Let's not even play dumb. Like, cut it out. Cut it out. Now, if you just want to say, hey, I don't rock with the manosphere, I don't like that I don't like that they're talking about or criticizing women. Then you okay? Then they need you're in the just shut up crowd. That's fine. That's fine. But understand who you're standing with. That's all I'm saying. Understand who you're standing next to. That's all I'm saying. Okay, then just say the manosphere is fruitless and move the fuck on. Like nobody's holding you hostage. Put on your cape and say stop criticizing women. Because when you charge, if you charge somebody up with shame, blaming, and explaining, you are criticizing men. You are shaming men for criticizing women. You are shaming men for debating women. For debating, talking, for the talking points that have put and what do you mean by it's fruitless? How's it fruitless? No, I think being silent was fruitless. I think not saying nothing when women for years was talking all the junk that they was talking about men. I think not offering a counter argument was stupid and fruitless. The Manosphere came along and offered a counter argument. Black Manosphere came along, offered a counter argument. Then they started gaslighting and saying a bunch of BS. We picked apart their gaslighting and their BS. We proved them wrong at every level to the point to where now they're admitting it. They admitting that they're at this point they're admitting everything that we've been saying was true. Like that, like we've debunked and defeated their arguments. Now, if you try to reposition it as if we're somehow weak, like we're saying, please change and come be with us, and like no, that's not what's going on. What you see is debate. What you see is men standing up against the narrative that's put out there against men by women, men speaking up and speaking back and setting the record straight and making it clear and making it plain. That's what men have been doing. Try to flip that around and try to say that we're somehow doing something wrong. Like, no, I ain't with that. I don't buy that. I just saw somebody pop up in the back. He recommended Crimson Cure to us. Crimson Cure done been on my channel. I did a one-on-one with Crimson Cure. Crimson Cure, she been in this space for a minute. GC in the building. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Bernard? So I came up to address Indigenous TV on the whole fruitless comment because, okay, let's just say if it is fruitless, right? And it's really not doing anything. Why stop it? Like, why do you speak against it? There are certain religions out there that one might call fruitless, that, it's fruitless, that particular deity doesn't exist, it's proven, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Even still, you don't have like a counter narrative just to shut something down that is fruitless. You see my point? Like, what is, like, if you see somebody trying to do something that you don't feel will yield results, why would you give an extraordinary effort to stop it? It's weird to me.
Well, he says he's not trying to stop it, GC, but I can at least mock it. Well, okay, well, I want to ask you why. Hold on, wait, real quick, let me ask him this question. Why are you then playing Manosphere politics? I've never seen you in Minister Jap channel accusing him of shame, blaming, and explaining. I never seen you over there accusing Angry Man of it. So why you either you're a punk or you playing Manosphere politics, or you can admit that it's all just pretty damn bogus. One or the other.
Well, I want to go further and say, okay, so you're trying to mock it. What if the people that you are accusing of shame, blaming, explaining, just trying to mock them? What if they're just trying to mock the B-dub that you claim that they're trying to like? So you
no, that's the crux of the straw man, where they have to make it seem like that we just that we're just lovesick, hopeless romantics who just I just really want her to change and come be with me. It's like that's once they start. Hold on, wait, you got some. Hold on, let me mute you up real quick. Yeah, once they make that argument to try to depict you in a weak position, whereas all that's really going on their end is talking the same shit about women, maybe in a different way. You know, one person may break down a ratchet world star video. One person may break down the thoughts, ideas, perspectives of a feminist. Some people do it of a feminist out in academia. Some people do it in a live reaction video. Some people do it in real time on a panel debate. Some people do it in a monologue. My point is everybody is doing the same damn thing. Either way. So I know a corner to market strategy when I see one. All right. I was trying not to go full gangster with it, but I know a corner to market strategy when I see one. I know a strategy to try to depict other people is McDonald's trying to say Burger King burgers are nasty, which they are, but at the end of the day, both of y'all sell burgers. So don't make it seem like you're against burgers being sold. That's the only thing. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate but true, and it really shows the level of disunity that brothers have for each other.
Yeah, all day, all day. Um, and go. Well, we got Jay a story to tell in here who sent me the most troll-tacular link. Who made that thing? That I guess I'll call it a meme that you sent me. Who made that?
I mean, I made it,
You
but
made it.
it was made for something else. So Tommy was not even supposed to be on there. He was like off to the side. I didn't know what to do with him yet because everything he was going through, you know, on, off, on, off. So chaotic truth is actually supposed to be in that spot that Tommy's in. It was
Chaotic.
originally
Oh wow, you just gonna elevate chaotic. What the hell is that clicking noise? You talk. It sounds like you got an old typewriter.
me.
Hold on, let me mute you up, brother. Let me mute you up. Uh, you gonna put chaotic truth on there? And I rock with chaotic truth. I've done multiple shows with him. He's one of those ones who say a lot of crazy stuff, but I don't. If you say crazy stuff and I think you actually believe what you're saying, I rock with you. Hood Conservative say some wild stuff, but I know he believe what he's saying. Game Changer say some wild stuff. I know Game Changer believe what he's saying. Chaotic Truth be saying wild stuff. He just shoot from the hip.
You think
He
so?
just Chaotic Truth just throw that stuff out any kind of way. But no, but I rock with him. But no, that was funny as hell. Do you got anything on the? I mean, okay. Well, let me just ask you. What specifically did you come up to talk about? What we talking about now, or the little meme that you created that I showed?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to bring clarity to it. Am I still clicking?
Oh no, you good.
All right. So it was that meme. It originally started out. I was working on a video on cancel culture. This is back when MTR, when they came at MTR's head. So I established kind of like a tier because I was kind of projecting or estimating who I thought they would try to cancel next, like what tier they would attack next.
Oh,
So, then all this stuff happened with Kevin. Then the week, the following weeks, I'm looking at Mr. Shirley. Kevin had Big Shirley, and now this girl has Mr. Shirley. So I'm like, okay, I see what's going on here. So that's why I just threw that up as a. But ultimately, it was originally supposed to be like a cancel culture tier on who they were gonna attack.
gotcha. But you flipped that into something pretty funny. But no, that was that I got it. Like that tickled the shit out of me when I saw that. I ain't even lie. Because I was like, oh, that's a tier list. I'm sitting there. I thought it was for real at first because I saw the first one where it was, Kevin Samuels at the top. So I'm just looking at him like, okay, I disagree with that position. I was taking it serious. And I'm like, why Tommy way at the bottom? Oh, somebody hating on Tommy. And then I went to the next one post Kevin Samuels and I saw Melanie King at the head of it. I was like, oh,
you got it.
you trolled the shit out of me right there. But no, shout out to you. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Jay A Story to Tell. Type that in. It should pop right up. Moderators, if you could drop his link in the chat room. And shout out to Purple. I believe answer yes or no, whether or not you're a woman, because that changes how I respond to compliments. God damn it. I need to. Never mind. Thank you. I'll just say that. I was about to say that. Yeah.
But I was just giving some insight, man. Keep
Oh
watching.
yeah.
All right,
Oh
bro.
yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Peace.
All
Peace.
right,
Peace.
gang.
Make sure y'all check. Hey, do you got a wrench over here?
Nah, I don't.
You don't? Okay, cool. If I can pull up the YouTube stream while talking, I'll rank you up when I see your name pop up. But all right, man. Thanks.
All right, sure.
All right. All right. Back at it. Back at it. But were you saying something? Did I cut you off? Where was we at, GC? Where was we at? Where was we at?
No, I
Well,
wasn't saying anything.
right here. Hold on. We'll let Son is Hot Ra lead the way, and then we'll jump off, respond to what he's saying here. He said the SBE rhetoric is just an undertone for the Pookie versus educated lame war that's been brewing for years now. How, Sway? I don't get that one.
But
Do you follow that?
I get it, but I don't understand it because I don't really think that Pookie Ray Ray and Educated Lame should be at war. But I do get that the war exists and it is fought in various different ways. I'm not sure if that's what he's saying is true, but I do understand that war exists.
Now, this is hold on, wait. This is interesting right here. He said, "Son is Hot Rod. Do you believe that SBE is effective? Answer it, Indigenous TV. Effective at what? Because I guarantee you're going to front load it with a goal that's not necessarily the reason for critiquing, analyzing, debating, having conversations with or about women. I guarantee you're going to place a goal that's separate and apart from why everybody who started Manosphere channels, where they talked about women, talked about the actions, behaviors, dysfunctions, and pathology of women. When you say, yeah, but is talking about those things, because that's really what SBE is. Is talking about those things effective? Effective at what? It's damn sure effective at growing a manosphere and galvanizing an audience of men and changing the mindset of men. It's for damn sure effective at that.
Well, it's also effective at mocking them. And what if that's just what we're doing? And just like, yeah.
Like, that's where, I mean, listen, I'm open to be proven wrong. I'm open for somebody to make this make sense. I haven't heard anybody make it make sense. I just be hearing dudes just SBE. I haven't heard nobody make this make sense. I haven't.
Yeah, I never really understood it. That's why I didn't really discuss it because, in my opinion, and as I understand the world, most disagreements that are verbal are just that. They going to fall under one or more than one of those categories. Like Martin Luther King disagreed with the system, and you can say he was SBE, and it's even Malcolm X, so or Frederick Douglass. It's very like that's just common. It's a common tool of verbal disagreement. All three of those things. There are others, but those are rarely used. It's it's I don't get it. In fact, it's so common that that's the technique that's used against those who use it.
Yeah. Javon, who's not taking a link, says, how is changing the mindset of men? How is having discussions about men and women and the social dynamics between men and women as it pertains to interactions, fucking, dating, relationships, mating, or just how to deal with and manage with women? Are you saying that doesn't change the mindset of men? And if a man is on the fence on some of the stuff that we're saying, and they see a debate in real time where the arguments, the more female leaning sympathetic arguments that they were kind of with, they hear those arguments get picked apart brutally by somebody like Tommy Sotomayor, by somebody like Angry Man. Are you saying that doesn't affect the mindset of that man listening? Are you serious? You saying the manosphere has grown to where it is and no man's mindset has been changed or affected by anything? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you know how to listen to a reaction video from somebody talking shit, critiquing the actions, behaviors, and pathology of women, and you listen to that, and then you have a different and you gain perspective from hearing that. Like, I guarantee you're subscribed to about 20 to 30, if not 50, Manosphere channels that do that exact same thing. But how is it changing the mindset? I mean, it changed the mindset of you because you in a goddamn Manosphere chat room every day. Like,
Yeah.
y'all sound stupid to me.
Yeah, that's
Y'all seriously sound stupid to me. Like, damn. But how is it working? You're here every fucking day. What do you mean? It's like,
yeah. Well,
here we go. We got another Indigenous TV again. He says, I've been against talking about women before it had an official title. Bullshit. Bullshit. Because there's a certain somebody who could fire up a stream right now where he's going to be talking about women and why you should pump and dump them, and you're going to be in there rooting and cheering. So stop it. You're full of shit. You're full of shit. Like, you like, cut it out. But anyway.
so what was said there was interesting, because I was against men talking about women. What is that? Okay, like, so you're against men expressing, their views on certain topics. So you try to end that. That's weird. Typically, okay, like, I'm gonna just throw it out there, and this isn't to shame any particular group. This is just one I'm picking up out of nowhere. Scientologists, right? I don't necessarily agree with Scientology, but that's it. I pretty much just leave them alone. I don't go to them and say, "Oh, y'all trying to, convince and indoctrinate these people, C and D these people." Like, and I don't do it over and over again, nor do I start a counter organization whose purpose is to undermine the existing organization. I just disagree with it and continue with my life because I have one.
Well. Yeah, the comment section is fun today. He says, "Yikes! I thought Bernard ignored the critics and stayed out of the mess." I typically do, but I do like debate. I try to stay out of bullshit. And there's a couple things that happened that sort of, where this the debate happened organically on a case closed panel, and so that's where it started. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and address it. I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. I'm
I
going
have
to
to
go ahead and
actually
talk.
see that.
What'd you
Case
say?
closed comes on. I said I have to actually see that. I get the invitation, but case closed comes on the weekend, and typically I'm busy, so I didn't really get a chance to hop on the panel or see the episode that you're referring to. But I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But what exactly happened? What prompted this?
Well, no, it didn't. Well, okay. It was a snowball effect. It was a snowball effect in a series of things. Basically, a discussion got going on there about the manospheres overall. It started out, did the manosphere have an effect on Roe v. Wade? And we debated and talked about a number of things. I talked about how something that BGS did, where he did a stream showing that how 20 states were considering 50-50 custody, at birth. 50 states are at least considering it. And he argued that that's a result of the manosphere. That's a result of men speaking up and getting their voices heard, no matter how they do it, whether they do it in monologues, reaction videos, or discussions with women. Either way it go, men speaking up, getting their thoughts, views, perspectives out there, changing the minds of men, or causing a sway in the electorate, so to speak. And then when the polling data changes a little bit, politicians have to change a lot, because like I argued that, you know, for example, if 52% of the country was pro-choice, but if people speak their mind and speak out against being pro-choice and they win the argument, win the debate, they could probably make that 52% drop to 49% or 48%. Now the politician has to then look and say, wait a minute, more than half the country is now, I mean, less than half the country is against this thing that I was previously for. So then now they start changing their tune a little bit. I always give the example how when, and yeah, some people say that that the LGBTQRS paid Barack off, but the fact of the matter is Barack was against gay marriage until 51% of the country got in favor of gay marriage. And then once that tipped over, once they won the debate, once they won the media war, once they won the propaganda war, then politicians started to, you know, the Democratic politicians who were the holdouts, which Barack Obama was as a sitting president. He jumped over and switched to the other side just like that, because no politician wants to die on that hill. So people raising their voice, yes, I want to make it very clear, handing over the money, greasing palms and all of that, that is effective too. But also major media platforms like, you know, like Kevin Samuels, you know, who's getting millions and millions of views per week, major media platforms getting out views, ideas, perspectives to the broad public. They becomes the pot stores of society that affect, that inception people with ideas that affect how they think. I mean, if we're going to say propaganda on one hand works, if we're going to say everybody else's propaganda works, we're going to say that people are stupid and susceptible to being convinced by things, by whatever the media put out there. Are we going to sit there and say that, let me mute you real quick, GC. Are we going to say everybody else's media and propaganda works except for ours? And that was a real good debate in on Case Closed. And then it prompted me, and then it ended up turning into a discussion about changing women. And I mean, a BGS even came up and he had said that, well, we're not trying to change women. We're trying to change the men. And by changing the men, you change the environment. You end up changing the laws, or you change men, change the laws, you change the environment, which means in a roundabout, long-winded way, after you do all of that, you change the men, you change the laws, you change the environment, the women will be forced to change. So then that's where I'm circling back, like, okay, so one of the end goals of the long-winded roundabout way is to ultimately change the women. If the women were the reason, if their changes were the reasons that you went on a mission to change men, so men could counter the changes of women, then the women change will ultimately have to happen. So in a long-winded way, I say everybody, when all is said and done, to some degree, is trying to change women. That's where I'm at with it. But no, it did spark a good discussion, and then so I wanted to explore it on my channel, and then so I was like, do we, you know, are we really trying to change women? So I wanted to have that discussion and that debate on my channel. And when I did it, I had Plantation Wireless going on, so I was borging my ass off. The whole time. And so I just canceled the stream and had to call a technician to come fix my internet. And then basically what happened though in that stream where I was borging, a good debate about SBE started happening in my chat room. So I was just like, okay, hell, fuck it. I'm gonna go ahead and just go ahead and have a conversation. I just said screw it. I said screw it right there. And so when we started this thing out, I ended up playing this 1 minute clip from 2 months ago with my thoughts on SBE and it was this right here. It's to the point where and I've seen this play out on my. Oh, and by the way, I am not responsible for that. Hold on, mute up, GC. You got bad background. But I'm not responsible for that background music that y'all hear playing in the background. This is my official position. It's to the point where, and I've seen this play out on my channel when I'm doing a reaction video. I'm doing a reaction video to a feminist. And I know I'm thoroughly, brutally picking her apart and defeating all her bad arguments. And I see an army of people in the chat room telling me that I'm trying to, this new thing, that I'm trying to shame, blame, and explain. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm told now I'm trying to shame, blame, and explain. So I'm getting my wrist smacked for critiquing and criticizing women. guys, they go after men in the spaces. Yeah, get them. Go after women? No. I'm sitting there looking at that like, if some blue pill pandering simps wanted to create a strategy to undercut or undermine the message of this space and blow it up from within, that would be their exact strategy. Figure out a way to make it unfashionable to criticize women, but okay to criticize Manosphere talking points, or okay to criticize Manosphere content creators. But when you do it to the women, nuh-uh, you're trying to shame, blame, and explain. It's like, I know there are detractors of this space who we've defeated years ago, sitting back there stroking their beard like, damn, why didn't we think of that? Like, because it's perfect.
Yeah,
it's a perfect strategy. So yeah, that was me 2 months ago. And here's Javon in here says, I don't want to change women, I want men to adapt. Don't we all? Don't we all want men to adapt? Isn't that why we all speak up? That's where the straw man argument is, though. That's exactly where the straw man argument is. You're making a distinction without a difference. I want men to adapt. What the hell do you think any of us have sounded off and spoke our mind and raised our voices for? So that's why I'm saying it's a bullshit argument. It's a bullshit argument.
Exactly. I mean, pump and dump is one of the many adaptations that men should go through, being more selective. And, I mean, there's a ton of adaptations that we suggest to men. Even the SYSBM ones who are just, leaving the market altogether. These are adaptations that were born out of, conversations like this. So it is very weird to say that we're adapting, you're not, especially without mentioning their adaptation. This is a very weird thing. Also, I was looking at one of Javon's previous comments. He said, you don't have a life because you critique talking points. Sounds like a female shaming tactic. Okay. That's not what I said. I actually didn't say that someone didn't have a life. I said that I did. However, I will say this, that if you say that something is not important to you, yet you spend an enormous amount of time over something that is not important, then that is the sign of somebody with very little going on. And I'll give an example. The difference in taste between a green M&M and a yellow M&M is something that is very unimportant to me. If I say that, oh, it's not important to me, I just talk about it. And if I talk about the difference in flavor between a green and yellow M&M over and over and over again, and I listen to others discuss it, even though I know it's not that important to me, that means that I don't have anything of actual import going on in my life. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just to clarify that, for those of you who don't understand. You say, oh no, it's not important to me. I just discuss it a lot, and I, listen to others that discuss it a lot.
Yeah. Subscribe to Manosphere channel. So I don't care. I don't care about these women. I ain't trying to change these women. I don't care what these women do. But yeah, I do want to listen to men talk about women all damn day. Yeah, it does turn into a weird thing. It's almost like you're listening to a sports talk radio show. I'm gonna mute you up. If you're not talking, mute up, GC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like listening to sports talk radio show about the Detroit Lions every day and saying, "Oh, I don't care about the outcome of the game. I just like to listen so I can know, what other plays. I just want to inform you about the plays that the other team might run. I don't care about the outcome of the game." It's like that. That's how y'all sound goofy to me. He says you legit just said y'all debate women to change their minds. If I'm debating a woman, I know it is highly unlikely that I will change the mind of the woman that I'm actually debating. I know that is highly unlikely, but the idea of it is to win the debate, is to refute the bad arguments, to pick apart the nonsense that's been being put out there. If you listen to anybody in the manosphere, I defy you to show me one who don't pick apart female BS, who don't break down female BS. I get like,
well, and also typically debates are to the benefit of the audience, not to the person debating. For example, in a presidential debate or a political debate, you'll have a Democrat and Republican. Now, neither of these parties assume that the other one will switch over. I don't think that Biden ever went into a debate with Trump thinking that he would actually turn Trump into a Democrat, or vice versa. That would be simple. No, it's to sway the audience being the voting populace to their design. That is the purpose of debates that we have with conflicting women from time to time, even though that's not the body of what's being done.
Yeah. Moreover, Donald Trump debating Hillary Clinton, he was going to convince her, but a lot of white women were convinced to vote for the pussy grabber in chief. And so, I mean, and a lot of those white women that probably voted for the pussy grabber in chief, they probably voted with their husband, which means you know that women will follow men. I mean, hell, my woman looked me right in the eyes and asked me, in 2020, hey, who are we voting for? So, I mean, some women do follow men, but overall, you're not going to change the mind of the person that you're debating. But overall, don't let somebody else's propaganda win the day. You should put yours out there, and any chance you get to refute and counter their propaganda in real time, you should do it. That action is being criticized, and that's why I said the whole SBE is it's really shaming men who criticize. It's shaming men who criticize women. That's where I'm at with it.
And it's ironic because that's the S in SBE, shaming. So the irony being that they're shaming others for shaming others. I find that ironic.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. In other news, did you just brace yourself? This is going to be a little scary for you. I know your sensibilities can't probably handle this, but did you happen to see this?
Yeah, that came up on my news feed. So yeah, what were they announcing, that they finally got married or something? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm just curious of your opinion of the arm, the bride's arm to groom's torso ratio. It looks like her arm is the size of his torso. I showed another example of the bride's arm to groom's torso, how it should be. It should be something like that. And now look at her arm to his torso. Her arm to his torso. It's I just thought you might have an interesting take on that.
I mean, yeah, I can make fun of somebody like that all day, but I mean, if she's happy, I'm happy for them. I do
Yeah.
know that if you are a highly visible woman, regardless of what you look like, there are men with all kind of fetishes, even though these men are in the minority, in the extreme minority. However, if you are into that particular thing, overweight woman, then and you have the opportunity to get with not only an overweight woman, but the figurehead of that, then you'll go for it. She basically has her pick of the chubby chasers, so it's
Oh, yeah.
undoubted that that she'd find one. I mean, if 1 in 1,000 men are chubby chaser, then she has her pick of a population of millions of men.
You know what I would love to see? I would love to actually see his previous dating history, and if it's just riddled with a bunch of overweight women. I would actually love to see that.
Yeah, I do know that ghosts like that exist. I have a cousin that's like that.
No, I know they exist, but I would like to see his. I would like to
Oh
see
yeah.
his specific uh dating history. I would like to see his specific dating history. All right. Somebody else in the chat room said, before I get to that super chat, thank you for that indigenous, I mean not indigenous, Sun is hot raw, but there he is, he's saying shame doesn't work. the degree in which this is where the straw man argument, this is where it sounds stupid. Okay, doesn't work at doing what, and then also define what is shaming. Because like I said at the beginning of the show, not at the beginning of the show, well, when I first start talking about this, and then sometime about mid-show I start talking about this, what I said, the person who invented coined the phrase, the concept of shame, blaming, and explaining, that was Ty City. He pulled up on Red Supreme's channel and accused Red Supreme of shame, blaming, and explaining. What Red Supreme does is pick apart the actions, thoughts, behaviors of women and break down their psychology, their pathology, pick it apart, refute, debunk all the nonsense and BS that comes out of their mouth. That's what Red Supreme does. What I just described right there is what the Manosphere, Black Manosphere, has been doing since 2015, to my knowledge. Probably before that, but at least since 2015. So if Red Supreme, per the definition, according to the person who coined the phrase shame, blame, and explain, if Red Supreme is shame, blaming, and explaining, that means everybody is. That means Minister Jap, Mr. Palmer, Angry Man, myself, Game Changer, you name it. You name the person, everybody's doing it, which means it's essentially a bogus concept. So when you say shame doesn't work, what exactly are you saying? Like I'm trying to figure out. Like, I have women on my panel all the time. I don't remember shaming anybody. I remember debating talking points. I've picked apart some bad arguments. I've won some debates.
But you
Exactly.
explained to them.
How do you debate somebody without explaining your point?
That's my point. So you see that you see where I'm going with this. It's really it it can't really be done without it by any reasonable means. I mean, like the people who say these things, they don't offer a counter tactic. The counter, I mean, it's kind of like oh yeah, the military just be on some guns and grenades, like as opposed to what? I'm just saying, guns and grenades. That's old tactics. They've been doing that since the 1800s. It's like, oh well, what do you suggest? What other form of combat do you suggest? Just not that. So it's kind of weird. It's almost like it's an attempt to disarm.
Yeah. And then corner the market and go do it yourself. And go talk shit about them yourself. Yeah. Anyway, he says, so are we trying to change females or not? Let's just lay out the platform's modus operandus. I think the majority of the platforms, mine included, is more so trying to change men. We're calling out the actions, behaviors of women. See, this is what my channel is for. This is my channel is for. I give social commentary on all the varying social dynamics between men and women as it pertains to dating, mating, relationships, or overall interactions between Black men and Black women. That is generally what I do. With the primary goal is to change the thought process and mindset of men. And if men operated in a different thought process and a different mindset, and they move the way that men ought to move, women would either just get left behind or they would have to move or operate around how the men are now moving, which means they would have to change. So in the long run, if goals are accomplished in the long run, women will end up changing. But my audience is men, so I'm not here targeting women to change them directly, but indirectly, yeah, that is going to happen. Indirectly, that is going to happen. But I think Kevin Samuels is the only one whose whole platform was speaking specifically directly, you know, to women. Like, women were his audience that he talked to. But even then, that was useful and effective at changing the mindset of men, because they got to hear what women were really thinking and got to hear it get picked apart by a man who did have a right mindset. And hopefully they changed and adapted to, the better parts of his mindset, and they operated and moved differently with the women, thus ultimately putting it to the point to where the women will either get left behind or change. That's why I say it's all a straw man. And then see, the link been in the chat, y'all. Link been in the chat. He says, are we allowed to say, Bernard, that SBE is useless? I don't even know what you... Are we able to say SBE is useless without being slammed and dismissed as trolls? I'm a bomb thrower, by the way, not a troll. It's useless at doing what? And also, you're not defining what you mean by shaming. Well, I defined what it means. I define the way that the shaming is described by the person who invented the term shame, blame, and explain. The way it's defined, the way that it's defined is basically anybody who's doing what the manosphere has been doing since the black manosphere has been black manosphering. That's how it was defined. I use the example of Ty City pulling up in Red Supreme chat, accusing him of shame, blame, and explain. If Red
I would
Supreme is
like to
doing it,
ask indigenous.
if Red Supreme is doing it, everybody is doing it. And if everybody is doing it, it's a bogus concept to criticize. And somebody pointed out he's using SBE right now. Anyway, go ahead, James Jager. Oh,
No,
you
I
muted.
was just saying, like, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I just want to challenge him to come up with an effective tactic if he feels that that's ineffective.
Effective at what?
Yeah, exactly. At whatever he thinks that SBE is ineffective at. See, it don't have to make sense when it's born from, I just want to be in a position of judgment. I just want to be in a position of judgment of others. Therefore, I don't really have to do that or do anything. It's kind of like you could put that same argument to anything. You could say, I don't feel that voting is effective. And then, and essentially what you're doing is you're challenging whoever you're making this statement to prove their worth to you.
Okay, January man in the building says, when I found this space, dudes didn't care what women thought. Did you find this space maybe 4 years ago in 2018 when I stumbled into this space? That was around the time when I remember Minister Jap had a one-on-one discussion with Ashley W, where it kind of, I don't know if it went viral, but I know a lot of people reacted to it, where she was talking about why she won't mess with a blue collar man. And Minister Jab did a damn good job picking her apart and making her look stupid, and made the strag and the sisterhood it just came out of her like the Exorcist. Like he did a damn good job picking her apart. But people are taking him doing that, him exposing that. They're taking that and saying he trying to shame, blame, explain. Why you care what these women think? You trying to change these women? So what do you mean men don't care what women thought? It's like none of that is making sense. None of that is making sense. Link is in the chat. Link is in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. Anybody want to come up? Shout out to everybody who has supported the stream thus far. Shout out to each and every one of you. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the like button. Where is that? I'm trying to dot some I's and cross some T's. I must admit, I'm slightly disappointed that nobody's coming up. Nobody's coming up. I've avoided talking about all the SBE stuff, and I finally stumble into it and start talking about it, and then the SBE army who pulled up on me with pitchforks and tiki torches. Y'all are nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. Said we need a debate series on this. Be a weird debate. Be a weird debate. But all right. Like I said, I do got a jam pack, action packed show that I didn't even get to everything that I wanted to get to. So I'm about to get to some more shit. About to get to some more shit. We got detoured and segued into something else. But man, please listen. Did y'all see this? Let me see if I refresh it. Will it start from the beginning?
Want to have a Garvey baby. Lord have mercy, Sister Danielle. You must not have heard me.
Damn it.
Have mercy, Sister Danielle. You must not have heard me. Sister Danielle wants to have a Garveyite baby with King Kongalicious. Sister Danielle, and she fine too. Look at them eyes. Sister Danielle, listen, baby. We got to build the nation first. If I give up all my testosterone, I won't have no energy to build the nation. I got to build first. Okay, we must build before the back shots. We must handle the business before the back shots. It is consciousness over the cookies. It is politics over the punani. It is revolution over the romance. Sister Danielle wants to have a baby with King Kongalicious. She fine too. Lord have mercy. Might have triplets. But Sister Danielle, stay focused, my sister. Understand, overstand, and understand that the building, the nation building must come before the back shots. I said the nation building must come before the back shots. Brothers and sisters, we must stay focused. We must stay focused. Sister.
Oh my goodness. Hey. These dudes, man. These are dudes. Dude, I tell you, them pro blacks. People done tried to call the Manosphere the Sympasphere. People done tried that one. And I'm like, hell no, hell no. But these dudes, look, man, stuff like this defies commentary. Okay? Did you tell that to the stripper? Man, cut it out, man. Stuff like this defies commentary. I've always said all of that hotepping, all of that stuff, all that is about pussy. It's about pussy. All that pro-black, it's a mating call. Shout out to Game, yeah, a Garveyite baby, yeah. The fuck is a Garveyite baby? I think Game Changer put it best. I'm paraphrasing him, I think, or something like that. It's a mating call. It's basically just telling black women that, all about the building the black community and the black race and the black and black men and black women get together and all of that. It's basically just a mating call saying, look, you only have to compete with other black women for me. I'm here and available for you. It's really a simping saying my options are limited. Come get me. That's really what it is. That's really what it is. Digital TV says the Manosphere is light simping, toe in the water simping. Umar is belly flop in a creek simping. I think men who are smacking the shit. I think you going around in chat rooms smacking the wrist of men who critique, criticize, and pick apart the nonsense that women do. I think that's lightweight simping, caping, and pandering too. I think you lightweight doing the same thing. So if I'm speaking up for men in a reaction video against some bullshit that a woman said, and you tell me that I'm trying to shame, blame, and explain, you're silencing my voice against her voice, but calling me a simp. Make that make sense, Indigenous TV. So anyway, Game Changer. Have you heard the latest musings from King Kong Delicious?
No, I haven't yet. I did want to cover something though. A super
Yeah, go ahead.
that you received from Sun is Hot Raw.
Oh, did I forget to go back to that?
Yeah, you did, but no,
My bad.
I copied it. So,
well, no, StreamYard make it easy. You can go all the way back up to the beginning of the stream. Here it is, right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Sun is Hot Raw in the building. He says the reason why it's an undertone for EL versus Pookie war, because look who they're
Bernard, I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
It could be me, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a you thing. That's a my all systems are a go. I'm pretty sure the audience can hear me. I'm pretty sure the audience can hear me. So let me know if you can hear me.
Okay. I can hear
You
you
can
now.
hear me now. All right, Son is Hot Ron the
I can
building
hear
with
you now. Yeah.
Son is Hot Ron the building with a $10 super chat. My bad, I forgot to go back to that. Indigenous TV is a bit distracting. But no, shout out to Indigenous TV. I did want pushback. I did want somebody to come up and counter my point. I did want that, and he's been the pushback. So I do appreciate you being the pushback. But anyway, Son is Hot Ra in the building. He says the reason why it's an undertone for the EL versus Pookie war, because look who they're charging the SBE narrative to. They don't charge it to AM, Minister Jab, Mr. Palmer. Yep. And they critique women too. They charge it to O Man and KS. You have a point there. You have a point there. I don't want to relate it to that. That's why I said it's either some manosphere politics in it. Because it's not used indiscriminately. It's not thrown out there indiscriminately. So
Well, here's what I don't understand. I mean, I do get what Sanas Rahat is saying. I'm not oblivious to it. And this is one of the many things I don't understand about the EL versus, PRR, is O-Man has the same education as Angry Man. So what's the defining factor? Like it's not education. Education is not and so does Kevin. Well, not really. Kevin has more, but you know what I mean. Like, uh, I don't really get like how are the lines being drawn? Because it's not being drawn on the basis of educated lane or even Pookie Ray Ray, if you can classify Angry Man or Minister Jap as such things. So there is a division. I'm not really sure it's being drawn on the basis of education. I'm not.
it could be on who they think lame and who they think not.
Okay.
And it's not really an educated lame thing. It could be just on who they think lame and who they think not. If they don't think you lame, you could talk shit about women. If they think you lame, you can't.
Oh, I see what he's saying. So basically, SBE is just one of those things that applies only to a certain group. I got you.
Yeah, that could be it. Shout out to RM. I did get your email. I didn't respond to it, but I did watch the video. I loved it. That will be dropping. Oh shit! I just kicked my camera. It just centered me a little better though. Okay, that's cool. I can roll with it. But yeah. But shout out to RM. Do appreciate you editing that video for me. It will be dropping a little later on today. But yeah. Oh shoot, we got Orenthal J Speed in the building. He says, I'm doing great. This is my official first day of my water fast. You ain't gonna make it. Water fast, and I hope you and your family is doing great. Speaking of health, I'm glad OG brought that up. We do need to speak about health for a little bit. I'm going to start doing a little break segment, not talk about health all day, but in light of the fact that just what's going on here in the Manosphere in the last couple months, we're losing people left and right. In the last 2-3 months, we've lost David Carroll. We lost David Carroll. We lost Kevin Samuels. We lost one of Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews testicles. Like, we've suffered a lot of losses. Brothers, let's get our health together. It's important. Ever since the passing of Kevin Samuels, I was already on a health kick before that, probably like 2-3 days before that, but I was even more emboldened. After that, because it was just like, even though there is conflicting stories of his age, but I'm just going to say he was 15 years older than me, which means that's damn near right around the corner. So if that ain't enough especially if you're my age, I turn 40 next month. If you're my age, if that ain't enough to get you to See, here's the stupid shit. But what he doing right there, like, okay, right now, I'm shaming black men for not taking care of their health. I'm blaming them for their current bad health, and I'm explaining to them why they need to get their health together. Okay, sure.
But is it but is it changing? But is it changing anything?
It's not effective.
Yeah, I mean it's very. I don't even know what the word is for it. Like it's just I don't I can't explain it. Which is why
Yeah,
I just been like I don't even know how to address this.
SBE tattoo coming, but no, real talk. No, I've been definitely doing good. Been doing good with my health. Been keeping it light, drinking only water. Well, I have my at least one or two cups of coffee, and then water for the rest of the day. Uh, chicken, vegetables, light carbs. Got rid of the pork. The pork is completely gone. Like get your health game together. Get your health game together, fellas. Get it together. Some
Yeah,
people don't know. Some people don't know what SBE is. It says your SBN, the SBE. Okay.
but I mean, aren't the SBE as a group SBEing like Minister Jack, not Minister Jack, but what's his Obsidian, BGS. Who's the other person on the list? Dennis Sperlin. Like, you know,
It's
and
worth pointing out that Obsidian barely do it. Obsidian kind of going in the direction of being very I'll say liberal to black some of the stuff that black females have been saying. Like he's conceded a lot of points more than he's countered lately. So I mean, so that's one thing. That's one thing worth pointing out. I don't even know if he's doing it. I'm not saying nothing is wrong with doing it, but I'm saying he's going in a different direction. He's going in a different direction. What I'm saying is what the Manosphere has done from the start would be categorized. What the Black Manosphere has done from the start would be categorized as SBN. That's more or less with my point.
well, no, I don't really mind. I don't really mind a person, especially if you have beef with them. Excuse me, attacking like certain people's individual talking points. But to attack a general tactic is really just, in my opinion, is too broad of a is too broad.
But but my point is, my problem is I don't see a difference in tactic. I don't see a difference in tactic. Rather
Yeah,
you
no, no. I think no. I question, attacking someone's tactic because what I'm getting from the chat room, and I don't really follow the whole SB thing. I kind of got a whip of what it was, and it
No, hold
didn't.
on, wait, real quick. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I want to catch this before I forget it. SBE could be definitely lobbed at 2015 to roughly mid 2015. I'll even push all the way up to 2015 to 2020, mid 2020. Obsidian, definitely. Yeah, I must ain't been listening. Obsidian is Obsidian trying to get into that black love industry, like heavy. Like he ain't. Yeah. So anyway, that's a whole nother debate. That's a whole nother debate and discussion. But anyway, I'm sorry. I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, what I was saying was, I understand like the every now and again there's an individual attack. Some of it is warranted. I think that Dennis Sperlin that time was out of line. When what he was saying.
When
I
he was
forget.
yelling at Sweaty Life of Atari.
I think that was it. It was something like that. But I actually agree with stuff like that when it's warranted or when I agree. However, when it's just completely um, I'm going to attack a tactic. It's broad, especially since you're using that tactic to attack that tactic.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
No
saying.
doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Shout out to Nelly Nail in the building. Says we're addicted to carbohydrates and don't eat enough protein and saturated fats. Yeah, yeah. I've been cutting the carbs. Cutting the carbs, meat and vegetable, cut the carbs, cut the sugar, only water, other than my cups of coffee. Gotta have my coffee. I ain't giving that up. I have at least one. Well, this is just my first cup. It's like a few little it's a few little sips left in here. And I may double back on another one depending on how long I'm on the air. But overall, yeah, no doubt. No doubt. I got to have the coffee ain't going nowhere.
So Leo Anthony said something, or Leo Lyon, excuse me, said something interesting. He says,
Wait, what go ahead.
he tried to tell them to choose men like me. Never agree with him on that, and definitely I agree with that.
Yeah.
And anybody who attacks that particular talking point, as I have, then we are in agreement in that. But the tactic, once again, first of all, he's not really using that tactic. So, but secondly, you're attacking the tactic just to attack the man, and it's not really precise.
Mm-hmm. It's a squint world. It's a squint world says shaming is work. I think he means shaming works only on men. I think he's trying to say shaming only works on men. I believe that is what he's trying to say. Okay, what's your thoughts on this? Do you fully accept the premise that in general that's I mean the shaming aspect of it? I don't fully accept the premise on the don't say Bernard Mayweather. Shaming is works only men. That's what it says. I read it how it says it. Don't pull out you can hit me with the Bernard Mayweather Paul game when it's read correct when it's written correctly and I read it wrong. Then you can hit me with the Bernard Mayweather. But if it's written wrong and I read it and I try to read it right, then you can't hit me with that. It can't hit me with that. See, my thing is they're calling shaming, picking apart, exposing the nonsense that women do, the nonsense that women say, their whole thought process and pathology. That's when the Black Manosphere picks that apart, they're calling that shaming. I reject the premise on that. We're men giving our damn opinion. Like we're men giving our perspective. And quite often we're using facts and showing receipts and proving our point. And we're quite often right. To the point to where the sisterhood challengers take major L's when they try to really get in the ring and come against us. So it's like, why is that being wrist smacked and called shaming? Like that. So I reject the premise on the whole concept of shaming. Like, so where you at with that one?
Well, the thing is that what the sisterhood has been doing the past couple of generations is pretending to not feel shame. Like no matter what, you got a strut type mentality. And what people are just saying is it's not effective, it's not effective, it's not effective. But it's pretty damn effective. They may not show its effect because shaming, does leave the shamed the option to say, "Oh, I feel shamed." I mean, they're never going to come out and say it, but what they will do is they will attempt at all costs to try to stop you from speaking. You ever notice how, like, if it doesn't work, then why are they trying so hard to silence those who shame? Why did Tommy Sotomayor change his channel, like, as often as he changes draws, which isn't that often, but still, why does
you don't know how much he changes draws? You don't know.
Yeah, that. I know. Why are they, so happy that KS, is resting in peace right now?
Shaming don't work, but yeah, they celebrating his death. They should be neutral and benign to it if it was just nothing. But I kind of reject the premise on shaming because, like I said, he lowered them. Kevin Samuels lowered them in the door with the shiny object of the high value man, got them in and debated Manosphere talking points. That's really all he did. not all he did, but that's a big part of what he did. He just debated chicks and brutally, savagely picked them apart on Manosphere talking points, things that's been said for over a decade in these little corners of the internet. He took it out to a greater venue, a greater world, basically a bigger world. He put it out there. So
Well,
go
I'm
ahead.
using their definition of shaming. I mean, calling an action, is not really um, necessary. Shaming has a broad definition. Let's put it like that.
Okay.
So you can call it, okay. So say you Yelp a place, right? Say you Yelp the hell out of a restaurant, right? A restaurant could say, "Oh, you're trying to make me feel shame, and so I can make better food and get rid of the roaches." It's like, you know something? I'm just yelping that the food was shit and there was roaches in it. I'm yelping you. I am letting all others know that this is a shitty restaurant. And your Yelp reviews are going to continue to be bad as long as you have shitty food with roaches. Now, a person could come along and say, "Oh, I read your Yelp. You shaming these bitches. You think that's going to make them change?" Don't matter. It does matter that the people who are reading the Yelp reviews understand what they're getting into. Now, the restaurant, of course, don't want the Yelp reviews, so they're going to encourage you to, stop the people from Yelping. But no, if you get shitty service, then make it known. If you're dealing with the people of, well, yeah, that would be adapting. That's why we have Passport Bros, SBE, Stovegate, et cetera, et cetera,
Pump
et
and
cetera.
dump, pump and dump, and everything else.
Exactly. So that would be the adaptation, that would be the men adapting to. First of all, if you want men to adapt, you got to let them know what they're adapting to, obviously. So once
But hold on,
again,
and that's my problem with shame, blame, and explain, because they're saying men putting it out there, letting men know, they're calling that shame, blaming, and explaining. That's what they're doing.
mhm.
That, that,
Well,
that's
that's why I made it the equivalent to Yelp review. I know, like you could say that if a person gives a Yelp review, like you're trying to shame the restaurant. Like, okay, partly, however, it's really to inform others about a shitty restaurant. It would be nice to, if the restaurant would read the review and actually get rid of the roaches. That's what a smart restaurant owner would do. However, if you're a dumbass restaurant owner, then we will just watch as you go out of business.
right.
But according to Indigenous TV, you shouldn't Yelp shitty service. You should just shut the fuck up and alpha
Okay,
your
hold
way
on, wait.
through.
Right. So now this is a goofy part right here. He says, honestly, Ramil beliefs make more sense in this era. Explain to me what Ramil beliefs are that everybody don't agree with on at least 90% of what he's saying. Find something that like I defy you to find something. I mean, it's a few nitpicking things. There's a few nitpicking things, but for the most part, what do we disagree with? What is it that you think people disagree with him on? That's another goofy part of this. Night Rain says the point isn't they don't feel shame. The point isn't that they don't feel shame. The point is shaming doesn't change their actions.
Once again, with the Yelp analogy, you change the actions of the customer base. Again, you change the actions of the customer base. Again, you change the action of the customer base.
Just to make sure that they understand the point, you're saying that in this situation, the woman is the shitty restaurant, the men are the customer, shaming how bad it is that they serving cold food with roaches crawling around. You're shaming you're shaming their restaurant, their business. You're putting it out there to the customers that this restaurant is shitty. Stay away from this restaurant. And then if that restaurant ultimately finds itself with no fucking customers, they would eventually have to either change or go out of business or get a dog and die alone. You follow the logic. So either way it goes, that's why I say everybody is on the same team, and I know a corner to market strategy when I hear it.
I don't, but that's not my wheelhouse.
He says, Bernard, why don't you just get Ramil in Thai City and have the debate? I'm not against the debate. The link is in the chat. They ain't never called me before they talk shit about me. but no, real talk. No, I'm with the debate. Me and Ramil had a lightweight debate about this on a case closed the other day. The clip is up on my channel. But no, I'm all for the debate.
So Shay Mack said something interesting. So what's the point in telling women these issues then? By your point, then it's the men's actions that need to change at Game Changer. Well, once again, and I hate re-explaining, but I know people weren't always, you probably just got here. So as I was saying with like political debates, the point, the reason that they have these debates is not to change their opposition. They're not trying to change a Republican into a Democrat and a Democrat into a Republican during the debate. The purpose of the debate is to sway the audience, the American voting populace. The purpose of debates and discussions with men and women is to do just that.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for them to just. I'm just waiting for them to grow some balls and just pull up on Minister Jap with that shit. Pull up on Angry Man with that shit. That's why I'm saying this stuff is goofy. That's why I'm saying it's goofy. All right, it's goofy. The thing that some people getting criticized for, every damn body is doing the same thing. But you pick and choose which people go to get criticized for it. That's why it's fake. That's why it's fake. The link been in the chat, OG. I don't know what you can add to this conversation, but I might need to go in a different direction because I didn't want to spend that much time on this. We kind of stumbled into it. It's a lightning rod of a topic, and we getting good feedback from the audience that they throwing out a lot of challenges and critiques. I would like to discuss it with somebody in real time.
So somebody said, if SBE is working, are there less baby mamas? I don't really count the number of baby mamas. I will say that anecdotally speaking, there are less stepdads.
Thinking Man Templars is the one I believe best articulates the post SBE message better than anyone in this space by far. It will damn near bring tears to your eyes. Okay, I would send me a link. You got my email. Send me a link. Mike and Vince Perkins in the buildings sending $5, showing support. I do appreciate that. Peace God saying, what is SBE? You are under a rock. But no, it's men criticizing, men shaming men for criticizing women. That's how I interpret it. Men shaming men for criticizing the actions and behaviors of women. Something that the Manosphere has done from the start, and even the people who accuse other people of SBN are also SBN because they let women have it too. So I mean, it's all the same shit. It's all the same shit. He says, I think the MGTOW way is going SYSBM way work more in era. I think the MGTOW way. Okay. Is that like MGTOW, when you take away all the fluff and the feathers, is basically a man just being single and having casual sexual relationship, having, casual sex partners. Who's against that? Men getting their passport and going to travel. Who's against that? Who in this space is against that? Like that's where it gets goofy. Show me something that somebody is like. That's where it gets goofy. JSP, you was asking for the link, and the link is right here. So I embolden you to.
Well, JC the Conqueror said, not MGTOW, but pumping and dumping. I'm not familiar completely with MGTOW, but isn't pumping and dumping like
that's MGTOW?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Pumping and dumping, just basically when you take away all the fluff and the feathers and the rhetoric, pumping and dumping is just simple casual sex.
Yeah.
You meet somebody, you get up, you get together, you have casual sex, and you have casual sex for either right then and there or in a period of time, rather a week, 2 weeks, month, however long, and then it ends when it ends and it's over when it's over, and you're on to the next. No big deal, no harm, no foul. That's essentially how MGTOW say men should be operating with women. So MGTOW, there's an extreme amount of overlap in MGTOW being a MGTOW and having a pump and dump philosophy.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, JC. I mean, maybe you can elaborate on that, but they're almost one and the same.
it's a war of distinctions without differences and straw man arguments against other people. That's what's going on. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I'm starting to notice that, which is why I want to stay out of it because, like, to me, it was a war with nothing to gain, and it's effortless.
It was an attempt to burn down the foundation. Ooh, I ain't trying to go there. I was about to go full Game of Thrones analogy. Queen Daenerys, the Black Manosphere is Casterly Rock, burning it to the ground to be the king of the ashes. that's what I see happening, man. That's what I see happening. But yeah.
Well, what I see it as is a diversionary tactic. So it's an unnecessary division, and it's really just giving some reprieve to the sisterhood.
Oh yeah, that's what I told Indigenous TV. I said if women talk shit about men talk shit about women, they clap back, they respond, refute, defeat, debunk their arguments, and all of that, and make sense and win the debate. If you're pulling up, smacking the hand of that man and telling him he shouldn't be doing that, then yeah, you are providing protection for the sisterhood. You are protecting them from criticism. You are placating to them. You are doing essentially what they want. like so yeah, that's a yeah, I put if you telling men basically to shut up, I put you more on the pander simp side of the game than yeah. That's where I place you. That's where I place you if you're doing that. That's where I definitely place you.
So Doug says something interesting. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
go for it. You got it.
Unto men organize and lobby for mandatory 50-50 custody. I got a video on that coming out later today. He says nothing will change. Women are still incentives. I think incentivized for their behavior. Everybody agrees with that, and that's one of my major points because they still have the power in family court. One of my major points. SBE is just YouTube talk. Yeah. Okay. Now I don't know what you mean when you say SBE is just YouTube talk. Are you saying that? Okay.
Well, no, the reason why you don't understand is because it's really just meant. Okay, here's the thing. Until you change the laws, how? Well, changing laws requires what?
People.
And people do what?
Vote.
So if you want to change the laws, you have to change the
Minds.
of,
People.
and the Manosphere is doing just that. So what's complicated? I don't understand. I don't. Like, there you go. Like,
Florida governor signing into law equal custody for fathers. That dude, beast. LOL. Right on. Right on. Right on. We need more like him. We need more like him. We need to galvanize more men to support politicians of his ilk.
exactly. They need to understand that, there is a group of people with these particular concerns, and the politician seem to be addressing them. But hey, what do I know? I mean, it's not like it worked in the civil rights movement or anything, except that it did, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't even get. I'll get into that. Yeah. Isn't it crazy that back when women were housewives and housemaids, they made a lot of noise, made their voices heard, burned bras in the streets, marched, did all kind of stuff with the second wave of feminism and all of that stuff. They did all of that stuff, and what did they changed, and they convince men to change, convince men to give power. A bunch of housewives and housemaids took power from the patriarchy, and men freely gave it to them. So cultures can change. Cultures can change. Minds can change. So I mean, it starts somewhere. It starts in an early galvanizing effort, and nothing better than media platforms to do that. But JC the Conqueror in the building, he says, from what Ed was saying, people in the Black Manosphere said MGTOW was some gay stuff. Yeah, that's what they said. That's what they said. But it really wasn't. But that's what a lot of Black folks said. That why it wasn't promoted, but pumping dumping is, because pumping and dumping sounds cooler than saying men going their own way, because men going their own way sounds like men are not dealing with women anymore, and men not dealing with women anymore sounds gay. So pumping and dumping puts in the definition that no, I'm still fucking, but I'm not getting into the system. So that's why the Black Manosphere will accept MGTOW in pumping and dumping form. But it's really a brand of MGTOW. It's MGTOW without the label. It's MGTOW without the label. SBE is men criticizing women. SBE is men using shame, blame, and explain to try to change women's minds / actions. Okay, what has happened is men who have debated women, have argued the points that we have talked about in this space for years. Men who have argued those points, talked about those points, did it in real time, either through reaction video or through live debate with women. Those men are being accused of doing what you just said right there. They're just trying to change. They're trying to shame, blame, and explain to them to change their minds. It's as if people are not smart enough to understand that rather it's a monologue, rather it's a reaction video, or rather it's a live debate. The same action is taking place. It's the same discussion. Only difference is in one case you got a sparring partner. Make a distinction between picking apart their bad arguments and making better arguments. That is essentially being called shame, blame, and explain, and viewed as a negative. And I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. It's almost like just because you simply say, "Oh, well, they trying to change the mind of women." Okay, damn. I think more minds of men are going to be changed. I do think a lot of people here debate male and female, and they change their mind when they hear better arguments. Listen, and the goal and purpose isn't to, like, my very few channels, if any channels in the Manosphere, literally target women. Kevin Samuels did, and he did an effective job at that. But very few channels literally target women as their target audience. Most of the channels speak up for men and speak to men. If women hear it and they hear a better argument or a better thought than what they had in their head beforehand, and they think a little differently, great. But at the end of the day, changing the mind of men is more of the goal, is more of the targeted goal. The end long-term goal, after the minds of men are changed, then the mind of women will ultimately have to change. So I don't run away from the idea that is that one of the goals in the long run, when all is said and done, is to change women. But the mere fact that the discussion and the debate is being had to try to stifle the debate and say, "Oh, you just trying to change. You trying to change hoes. You trying to change." No, that's nonsense. That's nonsense.
So I think people underestimate the power of influence that social media provides. For one, the AdSense wouldn't be paying people if they didn't believe that certain people have the ability to influence others. They're purchasing your influence to get you to purchase certain goods and services, like that soap commercial that always come out. They know that Bernard Riley has influence over certain people, and you know they want to use that influence to buy that strange soap. But another example of this would be the whole Will Smith situation. When he slapped Chris Rock. You see, Will Smith thought he was in the right because he used his right. He thought that he was in the right and he was defending the honor of his family. We all seen the speech that he gave. He thought that he was King Richie. And then, he didn't apologize to Chris, and he thought that he was the hero. He thought that he was, Tupac in a cape. And then he wake up the next morning and he sees the commentary. He sees everybody commentary. He sees what social media, what real people actually think of the situation, and then he apologizes to Chris. You see, this is unprecedented. Like people actually saying what they feel freely on an open platform. And it did have the ability to influence his behavior so much so that he's probably becoming a better man now. He's probably going to leave Jada Pickett as a result of this. So to say that this is fruitless, is ridiculous.
Okay, he says, Bernard, choose better is a thing, though, that's used as a way to have the conversation to reason with black women regarding who they date and who they mate with. No. If they are saying that black men ain't shit, they don't take care of their kids, like they give every bad attribute of black men, and black men say, no, those are the men that you choose to be with. And when I let y'all talk long enough, y'all will just when y'all describe the type of man that y'all prefer to be with, many of them will describe a dysfunctional dude who doing all kind of nonsense, but then they blaming men for their bad outcomes in men. But the type of dude that they want to rock with is the type of guy who has all those attributes to begin with. So refuting their nonsense and trying to say that men ain't shit and men ain't this and men ain't that and black men ain't this and black men ain't that, but showing them, holding up the mirror to their dysfunctional decisions that they're making. No, that like how is that wrong? That's speaking up for men. That's speaking up for men and showing that no, it's their fault. It's the woman's fault. It's the woman's problem. It's the woman's own dysfunction because she's dysfunctional. She's messed up. Like how is that wrong? How is that wrong?
You see, prior to the choose better, which is a counter argument to the whole be better thing that women like to put on black men, or that decent black men don't exist, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Basically what this is presenting to men is, something. I don't think that the problem is collectively you. I think that the problem is perhaps a series of bad choices that they choose to make.
Mm-hmm. Again, you're criticizing men for refuting the arguments. Now, here we go. And I knew Obsidian was okay. I knew he's gonna bring out the Obsidian. He says Obsidian used choose better as a plea to Keisha Bernard. He told TVA he wanted to change who black women get with. Obsidian has been wilding over the years. We get
Okay,
that part.
but I mean, once again, this is an Obsidian thing. This is not really a SBE thing or a matter of tactics. This is a very individualized thing. However, the attack is broad.
Yeah, it's a bro. Like that's one thing I said. Whenever somebody challenge SBE, they try to when it comes time for them to accuse people of SBEing, they throw a boulder into a crowd. When somebody challenge SBE, they get an infrared beam and try to laser focus the target on who they hitting. Like no. Everybody get accused of it. Like I said, Red Supreme got accused of it from the start by the person who invented the phrase SBE. So don't try to make it. Don't try to pull out one of Obsidian's personal arguments and make it seem like that's what it's about. Again, that's a tactical thing that you're doing there. A tactical thing that it ain't gonna fly. Ain't gonna fly over here. It ain't gonna fly over here. J Speed, I see you down there, dude. I'm not bringing you up. Like this ain't. Like I'm not, dude. I'm not. He on a basketball court, and like I really, and the camera is upside down.
With his thumb on the lens, yeah.
Yeah, well, somebody's thumb on the lens, and he wants us to see him play basketball. Okay. Yeah, I think everybody agreed that Dennis Sperling got out of pocket and out of frame on that one. I think everybody agreed Dennis Sperling got out of frame and out of pocket on that one. He was yelling and screaming loud at an obvious troll like that. That wouldn't it right there. So that wouldn't Dennis Sperling's finest hour. I think everybody agreed with that.
But shouldn't that just be a critique on Dennis Sperling, not the tactic? I mean, like Hitler used fire. Should we not use fire and stuff? That's just stupid. I don't get it. Like, a person uses a car to ram through a crowd of people. Should we not use cars? No, you penalize the person, you attack the person who did this obscene thing with it. That's what you do. You don't attack cars. Just saying.
Dr. Thunder in the building. Had a really good show over there on him on the most recent case close. On the most recent case close, we was debating slavery and whether or not slavery was a choice. Me, LAR, the real Dana, Ike, and Dr. Thunder was over there. It was pretty damn good, pretty damn good show. So they're doing good things. Actually, that one was on Ike's channel. The previous one was on Dr. Thunder's channel. The previous one was on Dr. Thunder's channel. But no, good stuff over there. And y'all see the links in the chat right there. I know most of y'all probably already subscribed to Game Changer, but if you're not subscribed to Game Changer, go ahead and subscribe to Game Changer. Go ahead. I'm no big fan of infantry skills agreeing with me. No big fan of that. If I see infantry skills saying facts, Bernard, then I start analyzing why I'm on the wrong side of the argument. But when people see Taz and Sweet Life of Atari calling out people for shame, blaming, and explaining, yeah, nobody ever thinks they might be on the wrong side of that argument too. But anyway, J Speed in the building, man. What's going on, man? What you want, man? Going once, going twice, sold. Let me know when you okay, he gone. All right.
I would like to get JSP on the health thing. Like, he's 60-something years old and he on the basketball court. So
yeah, JSP look good for 90.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
here
so.
he comes.
Can't believe you hating on me like that, bro.
I ain't hating on you, man. We having a good conversation, and you trying to interrupt it with your little broke jump shot.
I'm shooting 90 and 100%, bro. You can't fight against that. Can't fight against that. But anyway, yeah, what is a better way to get people in health? They see a 62-year-old man out there with the in and out crossover behind the back and then make the shot. I mean, you can't have nothing better than that. I think we all should cam up at what we out here running or doing something other than sitting behind a desk eating jelly rolls and pumping grits and cheese down your throat early in the morning. I'm on my water fast. You say I ain't gonna make it, but I'm gonna put it on the scale, bro. I'm about 216 by the end of next week. This time I'm gonna be down to about 180.
They said you was down there at the mosque. They said you. Oh, like shit! I don't want to see your earwax, man.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
but yeah, you said you was down there at the mosque getting crossed up by Sister Shabazz.
Yeah, passing out fish and bean pies and final call. Good morning, Mr. Young. Huh? Yeah, I'm trying to get y'all brothers in health, man. We don't want no more unexpected death. And I think there's no better man for the job than me.
Well, you think you're the best man for every job.
Well, in this case, I had to put I'm the guru. Been named the guru for a long time in this kind. You know what I mean? I take you for a week, boy. You come back. You be just like little Hercules.
Nah, man, go on. But no, I'm doing good health wise. I've been eating really, really good for like the last 2 weeks or so. I'm seeing great results. Been eating really healthy. But go ahead, GP.
Good morning, Game Changer. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna change the subject. So no, y'all stick with the health thing. I'll just come to that when y'all done.
No, we do. That's all we got because he could barely hear. And in order for him to hear, he got to lean in and put his earwax on the phone.
No, I don't, man. What are you talking about? You act like I got a hearing aid or something. I ain't got no goddamn hearing aid. I can hear a rat pissing on cotton 3 miles away.
I don't know what that sounds like. That's good.
That's not having good ears. You won't know what it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm not sure how curious I am though.
Don't worry about your Game Changer. You got enough on your plate, bro. You don't need this on your plate.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, I hope this week will be a cool week for all this stuff with KS. I hope they just settle down a little bit because they're getting a little ridiculous. I agree along with you on that one.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, they out here wilding.
Yeah, I told you, it made me want to take my cape off.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, you can't. Just take it to the dry cleaners. It can use a wash. It can use a wash.
No, I'm trying to get it stuck in the cab door and take off running and let it just stay in there.
Yeah, there you go.
I ain't gonna put on no tour badge cape. It's got to have that real big S in the front and don't stand for Superman.
That's a stunt double.
There you go. There you go. Hey, Bernard. Speaking of shit that don't work right, what was going on with your stuff last week?
Oh, all kind of stuff. All kind of stuff. Somebody had
Did
to climb up.
They gave you a new box?
I'm not even 100% sure if they gave a new box, but it was some technical stuff that somebody some years ago took them some shortcuts, and basically my internet, the signal was being dispersed out everywhere. It was I can't explain it. I'm no
you were sharing. You had a party line internet service,
something like that. I don't know. It was, but they went and fixed it. They went and fixed it. They had to the technicians that came couldn't even fix it. It was something so technical. They had to bring in the big guns to come out and fix it.
Big guns, huh?
Yeah.
So you had Jimmy Bowlegs coming in there with his goddamn internet shade tree company to hook up your shit.
It's funny, interesting story. When they came in here and they saw the whole studio set up, and they was like, "What do you do here?" The technician, and I explained to him kind of what they do, and I was like, I do a video podcast or talk about, I just basically said, talk about, relationships, social issues and stuff like that. And they were like, oh, like that one guy who just died, Kevin Samuels. And I was sitting there like, okay, this tech guy, this white dude, and you know how you could see somebody in their work uniform, but you could still kind of tell that they're a redneck. He just had that kind of look. I don't know. He might not be a redneck. He had long hair. If he took his hat off, it probably was a mullet underneath there. So I'm
he probably was redneck. AAA. Go ahead.
This sort of hickey potential mullet redneckish dude, like Kevin said, he just reeled off the name Kevin Samuels like that. I was like, wow, like that man was internationally known on the microphone. But all right, OG.
All right, you take it easy, man. Y'all take care of your health.
Yeah.
We didn't have to wait for KS to pass away unexpectedly, but we was talking about this a week before. Men, take care of your health. And the women who love the men on this side of the channel, take care of your health too. You know what I mean? Get that water in you. Take your water level like this, people. Everybody say 6 to 8 glasses and all that, but look, unless you weigh 1,000 pounds, take your weight, cut it in half, and drink that in water. All right. So if you weigh 150 pounds, right, that means you gonna have 75 ounces of water you're gonna have to drink throughout the day. That's all you got to do. You'll lose a pound every day without any exercises at all. Just that water content. All right. Y'all take it easy. Peace, love, and always strive for the truth.
All right. And you do that too. Strive for the truth too. You be saying a bunch of bullshit. But all right. But no, that wasn't bullshit what he just said. It wasn't bullshit what he just said. Listen to that part. Everything else he said some bull. But he knows what he's talking about right there. All right.
No, he explained it. He explaining it, so it must be.
Damn it. He shamed, blamed, and explained. God damn. All right. God damn it.
So, Son is Hot Raw was saying
it's hot in here. I need to get the I got to turn my AC on because I'm burning up. But go ahead.
No, I was just saying Son is Hot Raw was saying that SBE is one big undertone. I agree. I kind of sense that. I'm still not entirely convinced on what it's an undertone for. I don't think it's as simple as educated lame. I think it's more, maybe people are touching on it when they say men that have women on their panels. But until this, what's her name? Like Brown Sugar thing, Obsidian didn't really have many women on the panel. So, I know that it's a big undertone. I'm just not really sure what for.
Hold up. If you're talking, I can't hear.
Yeah. But you're right. That might be it. Because Ramil and I had a debate on Prophet of Thought years ago about women on panels. So it could be that that's what it is. This is just one side is against having women on panels and the other side is okay with it.
Nope. That's not it. The reason that's not it, because the SBE Army pulled up on my channel with tiki torches and pitchforks when I was just doing a very laid back, casual reaction video to some sisterhoodish feminist type chick, and they
Well, no,
pulled up.
not necessarily the particular panel, men who agree with having women on the panel. Like if you ever had a woman on the panel that you wasn't yelling at and calling a strag bitch, then you're shame blaming and explaining.
No, if you're calling her a strag bitch, you're shame blaming and explaining to her that she's a strag bitch, and you're trying to change her from being a strag bitch.
Okay, so I'm back at square one. I know it's an undertone. I agree with that because it's too broad to not be an undertone. Yet the people that they react to is very precise. So I know it's not an undertone. I'm just not sure, or I know that it is an undertone. I'm just not sure what it's about. Like I don't.
Yeah. No, I haven't understand it. I've heard people talk about it. I've argued with some people on it, and everybody I've ever argued with has conceded the point that it doesn't make any sense. it just don't. The only people who can honestly say they agree with that is basically the people who are just against men. Basically, if you're against men, calling out, speaking against, refuting, debunking the nonsense that comes out of the mouths of women, and speaking up for men, and critiquing the actions and behaviors of women that get swept under the rug for years, and men just get blamed from everything. The people who want to silence that, who wants to silence men speaking up and holding up a mirror and shining the light on what the other side does, the people who are against that, yes, they would come up with a tactic of, saying that y'all trying to shame, blame, and explain. That those are the people who I think it makes sense to do it. Like, like I said, Taz and Sweet Life of Atari was accusing people of shame, blaming, and explaining.
But
It makes
isn't
sense
the
coming.
person that coined the
It
phrase,
makes sense. It makes sense coming from them.
well, but isn't the person that coined the phrase cool with Taz?
Yeah.
Oh.
Al Boogie got it right. He said it's about who they like and dislike. Niggas don't like Bernard, so they charge them with SB. Yeah. Yeah, I think most people like me. I think I'm a likable guy. I'm a likable guy.
Well, I think that in the moment when they dislike you, that's when they use that. It's kind of like the stove thing. It's like, oh, I don't like GC today, so I'm gonna say stove. Okay, put it like this. Tommy hit me with the stove thing, um, but he called it a refrigerator or something like that. But the night before, he was on Fresh and Fit talking about, hey, if you selling a bit, because she said I'm celibate. Hey, if you sell a bit, I'll buy a smidge. So I'm like, oh wow, it's weird because tricking bad when GC do it. If you want to call what I did tricking, but I openly admit to tricking, and it's kind of like that weird thing that they put out there. But yeah, it's just a way to attack the person, not the action. Well, you're attacking the person by attacking the action. Put it like that. Even if that action is something that you do.
Yeah. Well, okay. Now, what would you say that some? And I was about to wrap this up, but we already here. Let's keep going. What would you say to some to say? The argument. Hey, I don't care if these women change. I don't care if I'm just just talking shit about them. So giving game to the men. What's that? But y'all care. Y'all care if they change. Y'all trying to save them. What's your counter to that?
Well, yeah, I mean, that would be the ultimate goal. However, once again, the purpose, the focus is to get the men to change. See, y'all are trying to adapt to women, and I agree. But I think that we should, in doing so, force them to adapt to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a weird thing that everybody agrees with that part. Everybody agrees with
the
that.
problem with being overly willing to adapt to a dominant situation really is saying, okay, Imagine somebody who's in prison, right? Who went into prison a straight man and he adapted and he's now a jihad. That's what overly adapting does to you. It allows people to control your behavior.
I missed what you said because I was reading a chat room. I was reading the chat room. This is most I ever read in my damn chat. Night Rain says, "BR, you got to separate the chat spam from the meaning of SBE. No, whenever somebody SBE gets handed out very indiscriminately, they throw a boulder into a crowd. When challenged on it, they try to narrow the definition. So when you say separate it, it can't be separated. I'll go back to my original point. The original person who coined the phrase shame, blame, and explain accused Red Supreme of doing it. And if Red Supreme is doing it, I mean, obviously I'm doing it, Mr. Jap doing it, Mr. Palmer's doing it, Angerman is doing it. Name somebody who's not doing it. Everybody's doing it.
So Chimax says
It becomes a
that's what I
bogus
said
concept at that
earlier.
point.
That okay. Chimax says that's what I said earlier. Why talk to women about these issues when they don't care? Then why are they talking to us about them anyway? This content is for men and the betterment of men. Content that includes both men and women doesn't necessarily mean it's for women. You can still have content for men that where they interact with women. I don't.
I'm
I,
pretty sure Tommy Sotomayor's content is for men. Tommy Sotomayor used to do one-on-ones with women in which he thoroughly, logically tore them to shreds and picked apart every bad argument they ever made and made them look stupid and exposed that they were stupid and exposed that the men have been right all this time. To try to stifle that and get in the way of that, I'm sorry, you are caping for women.
it's
You are,
very weird. Yeah.
yeah, you
I mean, it's
you
kind of
you
like
are
it's
you
kind of
are
like
you are protecting women from criticism. And you
well,
are
it's
kicking, you are removing blocks from the foundation of the manosphere. You
well,
got the
it's kind of like having a movie or a production of some sort, and people say, "Well, this is supposed to be for black people. Why you have this white person in it?" It's like, well, I made a movie about slavery, and we had to show somebody as the master, right? Like, what the hell is wrong with you? I mean, how would you not do that? Like, yeah, you it. Please make it make sense.
chaotic truth in the building. What is going on? What do you what the hell you want, man? I'm just playing. I'm just playing. What's up with you? What's up, man? What you got?
What's going on, man? I salute to you. I caught the tail end. Well, to be completely honest with you, the last 5 minutes. It sounds like you guys are talking about male spaces, and particularly with the manosphere. There was a time, and I'm not that old, man. I'm only 37. But there was a time, man, where men had their own spaces. We called it locker room conversation. And I remember, man, I remember being a kid at barbecues, at events. The men would have all types of conversation. Sometimes the conversation was, um, you know, um, a little bit explicit. But women didn't want to. Women didn't pry and poke their heads in. And if a woman did, and she got offended, well, hey, look, this is for men. The jokes that
Yeah.
we say, the things that we say, this is for men. And if
Mm-hmm.
you can't take it, you shouldn't be here in the first place. And
Agreed.
I think that's what has happened to the manosphere. We've allowed women to get on these panels, to get around us, and then when they get offended, then that's when the simps come in and cape. That's when,
Are you talking about simps in the audience or the
well,
the
simps.
actual? Are you talking about the simps in the audience? Or are you saying the content creator turns into a simp?
Well,
Because
sometimes even the
when
content
me and
creators.
when I have women on my panel with me and we do the Friday shows, normally me and GC, everybody else, the other guys kind of rotate in and out.
Mhm.
Ain't no caping, ain't no simping, ain't no pandering. If they say
Mm.
some bullshit, it gets thoroughly picked apart.
Yeah, I've
So
gone on.
yeah, you gotta be specific with that. You gotta be
Oh well, no, it's
specific.
not about. Yeah, well, obviously, I'm not talking about you, but I'm just talking about in general. I see, and not just even in the manosphere. I see it with a lot of content creators. If a woman gets mad, the content creator gets, I got to get you up out of here. Or the audience gets mad, the content creator gets you up out of there. And you know, I don't think there's any way to solve this, but you know, I think the only thing to do is just be real with the women. Hey, look, man, you know, this is what guys talk about. Guys, we make jokes. We're explicit. And if you get offended, hey, so be it. What say you, Bernard?
No, I agree. Now, I think JC the Conqueror took the words so somewhat out of my mouth. He says everyone that talk on relationships is in Manosphere in my eyes. So that's one thing that's going on there. It's a lot going on there. I have been noticing it a lot, you know.
Yeah.
I've been seeing some nonsense. Seeing some nonsense. I know you recently got into some nonsense, and I think some people put the cape on in that situation when you you know, got charged up with some nonsense over a back and forth between someone who said something about your tidy whities was in the bunch, and you said something about, okay, what color is your panties? Just
I
what
mean,
color your underwear is. I thought that was a fair. I thought that was a fair clapback.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
got tidy whities. She's trying to insult you. She's that's what I said.
Six the Goddess. Yeah, you know, she came on the panel, and she's so used to people simping for her in her own channel, so many men simping for her, that she thought that, you know, somebody was going to simp for her over at that network, and that didn't happen that day. What happened that day was she was put into her place because I don't put women on pedestals. I'm a man. I'm the best gender on this planet, and as far as I know, I'm the best species within the known universe. So the fact of the matter is that when this negress woman, who's the size of a linebacker, got on camera, you know, I wasn't having that. I don't care how you look. You know, you're a dime a dozen in my universe because I've been around all types of women, and just because you know are relatively attractive, that doesn't mean anything to me. It's you're not going to come here and undermine my talking points. No, that's not going to happen, and it won't happen with any woman or anybody for that matter. And you know, and like I said, I would be first to tell women, especially when they come into these panels, you know, you should honestly be quiet when men are talking. You should honestly pretty much have your hand wrapped around a mop. You know, instead of being on panels. I've had to tell women, listen, I've gone on panels at 1, 2 in the morning, and out of nowhere, a woman gets pissed off at what I say. Hey, I heard you in the back. And I say, ma'am, why are you up at 2 in the morning on a panel? You should be catering. You should be reading a bedtime story to your children, washing dishes. Is your kitchen clean? I've asked girls.
Why are you trying to explain to these hoes?
Well, you know, game changer. I feel as though it's my duty to explain it to them. You know, the honorable.
Are they going to pick up a mop because you said that?
Well, I had one girl actually pick up a mop and do it. I think she was like trying to pander me, but you know, but the thing is, game changer, you have to constantly remind them of their position. You know.
Oh, so you're trying to explain their position to them?
Well, I try as much as possible, game changer. You know, because I really question, why would a woman?
You know they know, right?
I would hope that they would know, but I'm trying to figure out why are women up at 2 in the morning on men panels, and then they get offended by what the men say. It just boggles my mind. You know, your hands should be soaked and wrinkled from washing dishes. Go ahead, sir.
No, I was being flipped for a second. It's fine.
Oh no, you're good, sir. You're good, and salute to you again, but game changer. I know it's been a long time since we talked, but let me tell you something, Bernard. I don't want to hold you up, man, but this simping, this catering, this pandering, it has to stop. You know, I remember the good old days when men could sit around in the garage, have some cigars, and just talk. But you can't do that anymore because women always want to violate. What are you guys in here doing? You guys are in there having fun. And what it is that women really can't have fun amongst themselves without drama and beef. And what they see is when they see men being awesome, they want to be a part of it, you know, because they can't really get that awesomeness in their own circles. And I think that's what it is even on these panels. I think that they see the men having fun, joking, and they want to go on the panels. And then, like I said, they get offended by every damn thing. What are you doing up at 3 in the morning, lady? You should be with a mop in your hand, washing dishes or reading a bedtime story to your children.
Damn, somebody just sent me a link to Kevin. Is this Kevin Sam? Kevin Samuels is in a I think this is what he's talking about, when Kevin Samuels was in the episode of Atlanta.
Mm.
I didn't know about that. Somebody just
Yeah, I
sent me
did a
that.
show on that.
Yeah, I'm watching that right now. That was pretty cool.
And I want to send positivity to everyone in the
And that
chat.
was pretty cool.
Salute to you guys in the chat. Positivity is definitely coming your way. If you have not gone outside, please go outside and take a walk around the block, take a run, enjoy the weather, bask in the glory of the universe, especially if you are in the colder states where you only get 3 months of good weather. But yeah, salute. Any more questions, Bernard? Go ahead, sir.
Any more questions?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, sir. You got the floor.
You just gave me the floor for questions on my show, man. I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
appreciate that,
absolutely.
man. I
Absolutely.
appreciate you coming through. No, I honestly, I just be completely honest with you. I was taking you talking as an opportunity for me to space out and check my phone and do some other shit
Yeah.
that I've been needing to do.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really listening, but I did hear you making, like, in the backdrop, some like really good points, some really good points. So
Yeah.
you know, I could definitely commend you on that. Shout out to damn it, now I lost it that fast. I spent all that time checking it. Here it is. Marlon Blank in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you dropping a cash app on me. Do appreciate each and every one of you who has supported the streams thus far. You all are the real MVPs. Are the real MVPs in the building. But yeah.
Mhm.
We probably about to go ahead.
Well, before you end it, I would like to say a little closing thing. Is that all right, Bernard?
Go ahead. Sure, you got it.
For the women in the chat, we all know that Bernard is one of the best content creators on YouTube. But I want to let you women know there is nothing wrong with gender roles. If a man is at your home and you ask that man, "Hey, could you help me fix my tire?" I bet that man would not he won't be hesitant to not help you. That man will. That man understands gender roles. And the same thing needs to apply to you, women. If you are around a man, make him a sandwich. Bring him a beer.
Sandwich.
Yeah, a sandwich. Bring him a beer. Let him watch the game or let him.
Hold on. She said Black women need to subscribe to Chaos Reign's channel. That's not Chaos Reign. You mean Chaotic Truth? She called you Chaos Reign.
Ladies, I'm gonna tell you a secret that a lot of people won't tell you. The key to a man's heart is men are pretty simple. We're dumb creatures, really. What will make your man happy, ladies, is you bringing him a sandwich, you bringing him a beer, letting him watch TV or do something alone, not nagging him to death, not yapping off at your mouth. No man really wants to be around a cackling hen all day. And if you do those things, if you listen to the Chaotic Truth, if you listen to Bernard, if you listen to Game Changer, you will master femininity.
I don't know about being lumped in with you because I can't vouch for everything you say.
Well, I mean, do you
even though you make a lot of points I agree with.
Bring your man a sandwich. Bring him an ice cold water, a beer. And again, ladies, don't yap your man to death. A lot of men just like peace and quiet. That's generally one of the reasons why a lot of men get white women, because they're peaceful and pleasant most of the times. And on that note, Bernard and Game Changer, salute to you guys. Have a good one. Peace.
Thank you very much. Snuggle 668 in the building with the super chat said, "Is he trying to say that cooking and cleaning is part of a woman's job?" Yes, it is. If so, what should be part of the man's job and who dictates it? Snuggles, you have a way of asking the most elementary questions that I don't even have the stamina to even give the elementary answer to your elementary question. Game changer, do you wish to answer Snuggles' question?
No, not really, because then I will be explaining to her.
No, chaotic truth's a trip. Chaotic truth's a trip. It's funny I mentioned him earlier in the show. Sandwich, blame and explain. You said that dude just got demonetized. All right, yeah. We about to get up out of here. We about to roll up out of here.
I wanted to, before you go, Bernard.
Yeah. Time to get up out of here. Time to wrap this
Bernard,
bad boy.
Before you go,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Would you say that Amber Heard is being shamed, blamed, and explained to?
Definitely. And I think what's more valuable than that is that the world is seeing on a grand stage that a woman being called out for her BS. That I do think that changes the game. I do think
Exactly,
females.
and that's really the point. See, this wouldn't be possible without the interaction with her, without her testimony and stuff. People would not be able to see her character, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Society really needs to see to understand that women do lie. You see, before that, people were just taking them at face value. You ever notice how nobody has ever really got Ike Turner's point of view of the situation?
Exactly.
They never really got his side of the story. She said this is what happened, and they just ran with it. Her continued, his dwindled, and they made a movie that was solely on her point of view of how the situation went down.
Yeah,
However,
yeah.
No, I mean, I'm just saying. However, times like that change because we're starting to see the capability of lying by examining people like Amber Heard.
Yeah.
You know,
Men speaking up makes a difference. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. We listen, somebody could try to argue that the manosphere, men speaking up in these online spaces don't got nothing to do with it. But if things would have kept going at just a normal par for the cause, some 10, 15 years later, Amber Heard could have put when her career was over, they could have made a movie about her and Johnny Depp was the abuser. Like that literally could have happened. That can't happen now. Like so.
well, exactly because the trial is being broadcast to millions of people. Doug said hashtag they know. Well, now the jury knows, and that's because they presented it to them. You see, they're not trying to change Amber Heard. Nobody could change her. She's fucking nuts, and she's going to remain nuts. They're trying to change her financial situation, absolutely. Up to the tune of about $50 million. Not necessarily trying to change her. They're trying to change the hearts and minds of the jury, and in doing so, they're changing the hearts and minds of millions of people who are viewing the situation. But hey, if those millions of people didn't know, they know now.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was fucking nuts, but now I know.
I remember when I first heard the news story that Johnny Depp was abusing her. Then I saw her speaking at a Me Too rally. I knew no facts, no details, but yeah, that was the world we was in. That was the world we was in where they could just say anything, anyway, anyhow, and everybody just rolled with it. Everybody just went with it. Everybody just rolled with it. And we're gradually removing blocks from the foundation of that world. And
As
I
we
look
should.
at, yeah, like
And
Dr.
no
T is
matter
saying.
what tools you use to do it, as long as it gets done.
Exactly. Nice. He's saying actions over talking. Is that what that's supposed to mean? Let's see.
Yeah, that's the greater than. Action is greater than talking. Talking is an action, but granted, but people have to talk to discuss the actions that need to be taken. But Doug, what's your suggestion? What's your suggestion that should happen? What's this whole action over talk thing? I want you to make an action without talking first and tell me how well that works out for you. Now, keep in mind that you would actually have to do this action yourself because if you convince others to join you in this action, then that would be talking, because you are talking to the people that you're trying to convince to act. So I want you to act alone and make the change. And I'd love to see it. I'd love to see your action without talking. And it has to be something that's completely without it. Like, you can just go to like the Supreme Court and slap the justices and not tell them why you're slapping them. Because I think that you plan to like slap the laws into effect. So, like, but you can't really tell them because that's talking. So please tell me, or write it down. Send me an email and tell me how you're going to do this without talking. I'm curious. I would love to hear your grand plan.
It's so funny. One of the most disingenuous arguments that people used to lobby at the Manosphere, when the Manosphere was making good points and picking apart all the nonsense and calling out the BS, they used to make a weird roundabout way, a real weird roundabout way version of the just shut up argument. And it's so funny that that's what the Manosphere audience is doing to the Manosphere. They're making the just shut up argument. Like that's how I interpret what Doug is doing. But then the people they rock with are just talking too. It's like it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing that I don't get. I can't explain it. It's like this is just the weirdest shit. But man, we 3 hours and 30 minutes in, so I am about to wrap this on up. But anyway, let's get on about it here. Let's get up on out of here. Thank you everybody who support the stream in any way, shape, or form. I do greatly appreciate each and every one of you. And with that said, we are out of here.